Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another stream, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro and the Xbox Series X prices is the new norm. Then I'm done console gaming. We'll talk about that on today's show. We're going to talk about Forbes. Paul Tassi says buying a PlayStation 5 Pro for 60 frames per second on GTA 6. You might want to wait to hear this, so we'll talk about that as well. And then on top of that, we're going to talk about MultiVersus. I play MultiVersus. I like MultiVersus. So we're going to talk about MultiVersus. They're coming out with a new characters or character. It's multiple characters, but it's a character all together as one, which is the Powerpuff Girls. So we'll talk about that. Right, deja vu. So I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Oh, boy. I just realized, son of a bitch, my whole camera settings got changed. Nice. All right, we'll have to fix those. Give me a second. Yeah. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. One problem after the other. There we go. The whole system crashed is what happened. Is it safe now? Yeah, it's all your fault, Dirty Bear. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Good morning, Wonder Rose. Good morning, Jason. What's going on, JBC? Dolphin Jones. Everybody else is like, wait a minute, didn't he just do this? I did. Doing it again. Let's start off now with the actual story on the screen, because it's there. It's there now. Okay. So, buying a PlayStation 5 Pro for 60 frames per second, GTA 6, well, you might want to hear this, okay? The reception for the Sony announcement for the PlayStation 5 Pro wasn't just a tidbit of many instances. It was also downright hostile, as the company seems to be charging $700 for a system that has what to appear to be relatively minor improvements, which is also demonstrated on the often years-old games, many of which are also at PlayStation 4. Now, it also has been reinforced that the PlayStation 5 Pro Enhanced does not mean guaranteed 60 frames per second on those games. And the way that some are thinking, Sony only specified some of the games shown were 60 FPS, that they are still listed as targeted. Something that the PlayStation 5 also said it would also target is when it releases, even with the Pro, it's getting there more often. Before I even go on, this is exactly why, just like games, you don't pre-order video games. I wouldn't buy the system right away. Why would you buy the system right away when you... Xbox, and again, this is not a Sony thing. This is a company-wide, industry-wide, I should say, right? Sony, Xbox, they all lied to us, right? They all lied to us about what's on the box, what it potentially could do, okay? Now proven that if you're playing on PlayStation 5 normal, you're playing a choppy box, right? You're not playing true, right? So now you are, right? Xbox said you get up to, right? Well, this is saying, 60 frames and that are targeted. A target. I can throw a dart at a target and I want to hit a bullseye, but I miss. You know what I mean? So I know it's a minute. We talked about this yesterday or the last couple days. We know it's a minuscule market, and the analysts are saying only 13 million units sold over the next 5 years. But why would you purchase this not with any proof of what it can do? Okay? So, as such, it's easily to make another logical leap. For some, the appeal of PlayStation 5 is the idea that it also would be the best piece of hardware to play the upcoming GTA 6. No doubt one of the biggest video game releases of all time. But we have truly no idea what the PlayStation 5 Pro may be able to enhance there. It's also a great idea, or it's the idea that it was also be running a GTA 6 at 60 frames per second when it's 30 everywhere. Else, it seems almost impossible that it's a fully next-gen resource-intensive third-party game that's already known for the Pro. It has limits of frame rate with some old games. Don't believe me. He says, don't believe me. Well, Digital Foundry just chimed in during the conversation of IGN's Matt pure slow. He says that the same thing when he asked about the PlayStation 5 would hit 60 frames per second for GTA 6. Okay. He says, no Grand Theft Auto games have always run complex simulations that also push the CPU hard, which is why every GTA game is initially launched on their target platform at 30 frames per second or lower. Okay. He continues to say the PlayStation 5 Pro used the same CPU as the PlayStation 5, and it would be extremely challenging to hit 60 frames per second if the base PlayStation 5 version is targeting 30 frames per second. He explains this isn't a GPU problem, it's a CPU problem. In other words, the 67% bigger GPU Sony has advertised would mean nothing in this situation, and Rockstar games so far have always launched at 30 frames per second. PlayStation 5 Pro pushes that to 60 frames per second at launch, given the hardware and Rockstar's own target seems like it's simply not happening. Okay, this is not to say that there also will not be other improvements, but it's some sort of guaranteed high frame rate is not one of them. It says, it is factual, though, that because GTA 6 is not releasing on PC and PlayStation 5 Pro, which is indeed the most powerful hardware running the game, at least for a while, but until it's clear improvements will actually be made over the base version, which is likely not the big frames jump. You want to do hold off on the idea that the GTA 6 itself would be worth the $700 purchase. There's a lot here because, one, GTA 6, I even said GTA 6 would push the console sales. It did in the past. It did for PlayStation 2. It did for right? Like, it was the driving factor when Grand Theft Auto went from what it was to what it is. Okay? Now, all these years later, Grand Theft Auto 6 is at this... It's a game once a decade, okay? Like, when this comes out, it will be on... I would assume they're going to push it not only for the last system as well, because a lot more people are still on those old systems with Xbox and Sony, okay? So, do we think it only comes out for this system? And when I say this system, this generation, or do we think it goes back down one generation on this generation for more high-end stuff, and then it continues on going forward? These are all things we need to know, okay? Not only are you purchasing $700 to play this game, because, you know, that's what drives the price going up. And if you want to play the best games in the market that come out, you got to pay the big bucks. But you got to prove to me that these games will actually run on this. And this is one of the reasons I would not purchase a new console. And this is before they even announced the PlayStation 5 Pro. We're just talking about the PlayStation 6 or the Xbox Next. Okay, I said I wouldn't buy them because they have to prove to me, because this generation was an absolute flop as far as what they said would it do and then what it does. Okay, so now they're telling me that the PlayStation 5 Pro for $200 extra does what the PlayStation 5 should have done. Okay, I'm not falling for it. Personally, I'm not falling for it, and I would recommend everybody else not to fall for it either. Okay, because even if they say Grand Theft Auto 6 is the only console, is the best place to play, according to Digital Foundry, according to other sources, Grand Theft Auto has never hit the 60 frames, right? Maybe this will be the first time it ever hits 60 frames, but even then, not too sure, right? So where do we go from here? Right? Not only, we talked to Greg Owen last night in the podcast. Watch that, okay, if you want to talk about a conversation that we had. We talked about the new systems, and he said, well, most people don't even have a television that could run what the PlayStation 5 Pro is saying it could do, right? Sure, there's people that have the TV sets that do 120 hertz, okay? My TV is 3 years old, okay? My TV doesn't do the true 120 hertz, right? It's like 60, but it's like upscaled or whatever it's called to 120. But you want, just like you say, well, that doesn't count for the PlayStation. If I want the PlayStation 5 Pro to be what it says it's going to be, then I have to have the technology to use it. I have to have the HDMI 2.1. I have to have a television that can run it. And people will tell you that, well, computers are still going to be more. Sure, but I could get a smaller monitor. I don't need a 55-inch because I'm not sitting, 15 feet back from my television set, right? My monitor's right here. I don't need a 55-inch television set or monitor that costs $3,000, right? I could get a 21-inch, 27-inch, 32-inch monitor, and I would still, by the time you buy that, by the time you buy your PC, by the time you buy the Xbox, by the time you get all the upgrades, plus the PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Online, and the television set, they're the same. Okay, now it comes down to convenience. Do you want to sit in front of a television set in your living room, which you can move your PC over there, or do you want to sit at a desk and play your games there? That's what it comes down to. I still think it's a weird pricing point. I said it last night. I'll say it again. The higher the price point, the more it comes in line with PC, and now you're giving people options. You're like, well, just for a little bit more, I can get a PC, right? Because again, the people that are on PlayStation 4, anything is an upgrade, and they would be blown away from what they had to what they're going to get. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think GTA 6 comes out at 60 frames per second? Or is it targeted 60 frames? Or does it come down later? Like a Starfield, like a Redfall, like all these other games that came out for Xbox, where they launch it at 30 frames per second, and then it comes out later at 60 frames per second. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Waterbear says, we can only hope at this point that GTA 6 launches on PC day one if you want the best frames, because I can't do 30 frames anymore. But I think the problem is, if a game is a game, Water, people will take it and play the 30 frames. They do it on Nintendo all the time. The games on Nintendo run at 30 frames because they're good games. Eclipse says, I like them both equally, but I do like GT character design, and I'm glad they're also getting it. Kylo says, 5 can be skipped. Do yourself a favor and play Vice City, San Andreas, and 4. Guy79 says, it seems like the PlayStation 4 Pro was an afterthought for the most third-party devs. PlayStation 4 Pro or PlayStation 5 Pro? First says, too late. Already decided I'm buying it. Buying what? The PlayStation or a PC? First. Sarge says, but we all know that Sony and Microsoft will both pay Rockstar to do the release on PC until much later, and they both want those sales. Come on. I don't know if Xbox is doing something different. The only thing that would be a home run, Sarge, for them is not getting on the Xbox first, is to get on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Dirty Bear says, GTA 6 running at 60 frames on a console is like thinking Bethesda can have a solid game release. Just won't happen. I still don't own an Xbox X or a PlayStation, anything. Just haven't been impressed enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, they lied to us this console at the start of this generation. They're like, oh, we got the strongest games. And then now PlayStation says that the strongest games that you had are choppy. Kylo says, at the price of $700, if you're already paying that much, you might as well save up a couple of hundred more to get a nice PC. But you're not just paying $700, though, Kylo. You're not just paying $700. $700, I guess, is the entry price, right? That's if you just get the console and you're not getting PlayStation Online. You're not getting the... I won't even add the stand, right? You're just getting the hard drive. Or maybe you're not getting the hard drive. Or the disk drive. Sorry, not the hard drive. The disk drive. Okay? So you're just getting $700, and then with 1 year, it's $80. So it's $780 with tax. It's $800, right? And then, do you already have a television that runs what that can do? If not, then you have to make that purchase as well. Artemis says, I have a Vizio, and it does 120 hertz, and I bought it about 3 years ago. Does it do a true 120 hertz? Because they started coming out in 2018, but there's a difference between the actual true 120 and the upscale thing that it does. Kylo says, with the disk drive, the stand, it'll be $800 after taxes, $200 more than you have a solid PC. Right. Mo says, GTA is going to do whatever they want and nobody will bat an eye. We're not even talking about GTA, though, Mo. We're talking about, will it hit 60 frames on the consoles? According to Digital Foundry, none of the games have ever hit 60 frames. Maybe this will be the first one. Eclipse says, is it real 120 or 60 times 2? Like they said on the TV. Right. Dirty Bear says $700. Don't care what they say. What runs whatever. I'll pass because that price alone. Gene says, I'm good with the PlayStation 5 OG digital. Yeah, it's just not enough to upgrade, I don't think, Gene, right? You just wait for the 6 to come out at that point. Salty says, meanwhile, everybody and their mother are buying out the PlayStation disc drives already. I think most of that, Salty, is because of scalpers. They're getting ready. Why would all of a sudden the people that had the Slims up to this point didn't purchase a disc drive already for their thing? You know what I mean? Oh, you're saying the PlayStation 4 Pro back in the day, I had one. It was just like felt like an afterthought. Sargent says, is Microsoft willing to sacrifice GTA sales to put it on Game Pass to pull people in? Oh, for sure. If 100%, they don't have enough consoles out there. They're 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 lower than PlayStation. The only move for Microsoft, in my opinion, is if they were going to do that, take the game and put it on Game Pass if they wanted to, but they probably don't care. They'll probably just go, yeah, you can play it on our system, whatever, right? And then they'll make deals with them down the road because they've done it with all their other games. Gene says Mark Cerny indirectly shitting on the regular PlayStation 5 was hilarious. Nobody talks about that, right? There's nothing to compare it to. They had to compare it to their own system, and when they did, they're like, yeah, look how choppy it is. It's like, wait a minute, I've been playing that for 4 years. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I guess I have to get the PlayStation 5 Pro now. Z says, if Game Pass wants signups, they'll bring GTA 6 day one for 1 month, and then like you can buy it. Right. That would be the mic drop for Xbox. Right? For PlayStation, it would be the time exclusive, getting it for a certain period of time as well. Mo says, for the record, Mo says Xbox has marketing for GTA. Oh, yeah? Is that your thought? You think so? We'll see. Kylo says 360, One, 1X, and all ran GTA 5 at 30 frames per second. It took 2 generations to finally get it to run at 60. No change GTA 6 will run out of box at 60, or no chance that GTA 6 will run out of the box at 60. Might take the PlayStation 6 or PlayStation 7. No, I think they can get it. I think if it doesn't come out at 60 frames, it does 8 months to a year to get it out at 60. I think it does what the other games have done. Or if it doesn't come out at 60, they'll put it in 60 down the road. Not the next generation. Eclipse says, I'm not actually very disappointed in the fighting game. Giving me a story game. Bleach, I've also played so many fighting games already. I want story game. Oh, you're talking to Travis. Okay. Waterbear says 3,800 plus for a console, 800 plus for a nice GPU, CPU combo upgrade. Which one do you think you would benefit you most? If you want to get a low end, look, I can see what people are talking about when they're talking about that. It'd be really hard to get a $800 computer, right? And say it'll do the exact same thing as what the PlayStation is going to do. But at the same time, I think those people are being disingenuous because, sure, I got to build a computer down to 700, but that's not 700. To get everything that you want, each their own. Maybe you don't want the disk drive. It's 800 minimum for just the console and playing online games on PlayStation. Okay, sure, you could be like, well, maybe the person that's getting the PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't play games online. Okay, great. Okay, it's still $800. Okay, or $700 at that point, and then I got to build that coming down. But obviously, if you're playing PlayStation, you're going to play games online, okay? So you got to pay the $80 a month or $80 a year, right? Well, are you going to have that system for 3 years, 4 years? So that's $320 to $400 that you're going to pay for that time frame that you're there, right? So that's $700 plus $400. That's $1,100 in that 4 years time. Now, can I build a computer for $1,100? Okay, for $1,100 to compare that can run the exact same thing. Now that's fair. Okay, but people want to be disingenuous and say, well, no, you're only building a $700 PC compared to the PlayStation. Well, no. After I get everything I need to use this thing, that's not including the television set, by the way. If you don't have a television set, that's more on top of that. Now you can go buy a pre-built computer, okay, for less than what you can buy the television set and the PlayStation 5 Pro for. Roadkill says, you're all going to buy it in a year and a half when it's the best thing out. No. No, I could tell you with this dead straight face, I will not purchase the PlayStation 5 Pro. If anything, I'll buy the choppy box of the PlayStation 5 because I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to purchase stuff like that when I know I can get just a good enough experience. I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. Personally, myself, I would rather take that $500 or the $700 and put it towards my rig to just make it more down the line. Jason says, no Rockstar game runs at 60 frames at launch, so why are people surprised? I don't know why people are surprised when a game doesn't work on day one. Launch day after launch day. Why are they surprised? Kuda Papa says, new games at launch will actually hit 60 frames and held. It's also be a true statement. Dirty Bear says, 700, you'll need to next great TV in order to enjoy the glimpses of 4K, whatever. I stick to my PC. It also lacked rather investment and then never was one of the first-person FPS debate. I play games I enjoy. Right, but if you want to play the 4K, 8K, 120 frames per second, a lot of people don't have those television sets, and they're going to have to purchase that for that. If you're going to tell me that the PC person, you got to talk about the hard drive and the PC and the RAM and the hard, if you're going to add all the PC stuff up, then you have to add all the stuff up you need to play the PlayStation as well. Fifth Horseman says, I'll never be the best thing out because the mid-range PC already beats it. Kylo says, trust me, I'm buying it. Roadkill, my PC next year will run laps around the plastic box. Waterbear says, here's the thing, though. If you're a Sony, says GTA is 1 year exclusive for PlayStation 5 Pro, you can bet your ass that they will move millions of consoles because of GTA is in that system seller. Sure, but they won't sell the PlayStation 5 Pro. They won't sell millions and millions of things of that. They'll buy the lowest entry point, which would be the PlayStation 5. Digital, right? Is it the lowest one? And that statement's true for anything, Water. If you don't think that if GTA gets exclusive for anything, we talked about Netflix, right? If they made a deal with Netflix, you can only play it through Netflix's app, okay? Everyone would go get Netflix and get a subscription model to play it. 1,000%. If Xbox got the exclusive and it was on Game Pass only for the first month, 2 months, everyone would get Game Pass for that 1-2 months. 1,000%. So to say, well, if Xbox got it or a PlayStation got it, everyone would do it. They would go anywhere it goes. Salty says, I'll wait for GTA 6 on PC. They struggled at first just to hit 60 on launch, and then Red Dead 2, but they finally sorted it out, and I'm done buying console games. See, that's the thing, though, Salty. I think a lot of people, and I said it last night with Greg, I think the higher the consoles, and we have another story, if the prices go high, right? If the consoles get higher and higher, and they're in that just reach of a PC, before it was $300, $400, right? You're still far away from it's like, well, it's $300. I can play video games for this is the best value for my money without purchasing over $1,000 PC. But now it's encroaching on it. You could get a PC comparable. Okay. Maybe it won't be one-on-one, but you could still do more stuff with that PC than you could do with your console. Right? So now you're putting in people's minds of, well, do I put money do I save a little bit more money up and then get a PC? Before there was no question. You're like, just get a console. It's cheap. Buy 2 consoles. One for you, one for your kids. Now you're like, I don't know. You know why Switch does so well? The price point. You're buying multiple for the household. Roadkill says, I bet you $100 right now, GTA 5 runs at 60 frames on the PlayStation 5 Pro? 5 or 6? Well, I would take that bet if you said GTA 5 runs on the PlayStation 5 Pro at 60 right now, because the PlayStation 5 Pro is not out yet. So I would win that bet, because right now it's not out. Crowded says that it's so funny that console people still think that they save money over PC users because they spend less up front. They have no idea what much money is and lose on the games. Yeah, they're paying more for the games. They're paying for the internet. Base PlayStation 6 will have minimum cost at 600 plus. Oh, I think this is the ground floor. I think this is the ground floor now. 600 and it'll be missing things that you have to extra purchase, right? I think 700 will be that new floor. You could get them on sale and stuff like that with a monitor, I believe, right? And you could do monthly payments. I don't know. Can you do monthly payments? I mean, obviously on a credit card you could do monthly payments, but like actual monthly payments with Sony, right? Like I could get a computer right now for like $35 a month for like no interest for like 12 months. Or no, it's 72. 72, I'm sorry. It's like $72, something like that. 72. Let me go to Best Buy real fast. Not that I would. You know what I mean? I would go somewhere else and build my own. But if you're just a you know nothing, you're like, I want to get a PC. Right? I want to get a PC. What is happening with my browser here? Let's see. Yeah, here you can get. Here's a. Here's a Cyber Power PC, Game Master Gaming CP, Radeon 5500 16 memory, NVIDIA GeForce, 1 terabyte SSD, right? 73879. Now I'm not saying it can do what the PlayStation 5 Pro can do, but when people are starting to look at stuff now, right? If I'm a person that's looking at this going, I'm getting into PlayStation 5. Do I get a PlayStation 5? Do I get an Xbox at 600? Do I get a PlayStation at 700? Right? Or do I look at it and go, just a couple bucks more, I can have a better experience with the PC, get into PC. You can do a lot more with it. Okay? You know what I mean? It's opening up the doors more. I'm not saying people are doing it, but what I'm saying is if it gets closer to that status of PC, they're like, why am I getting a console? Roadkill says all the PC players that say that they're going to go buy an $800 PC or build one, none of them haven't done it, and you can't. You're never going to get the same performance of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Here's my thing is though, Roadkill, they told you, and again, this is not a Sony thing. This is a industry thing. The console said that it could do these things, up to, targeted, whatever. They didn't hit those things, right? Now they're showing you the new shiny toy, and everyone's like defending them, like, well, you can't get it. But they're raising the price, and it's creeping in on that market of PC gamers. Cell says 30. PSVR 2 is on sale today at the source. At the store for $249. Yeah, they got to move that product. We did a story 2 days ago that they're probably coming out with the new headsets with the prescription lenses inside there. They got to get the old ones off the shelf. In your PC, it's not going to have a Wi-Fi 7, which is PlayStation 5 Pro does have everything. I mean, I didn't even look at what this has. I'm just looking at... You also got to remember, you guys are talking as everybody that buys the technology knows all the bells and whistles. They look at the fucking shiny object and they go, yeah, I'll take it. Right? You're talking about the 1%ers that look at the stuff you're talking about. I'm talking about the masses. The masses don't care. Here, full specs. Let's see. 16 gigs. 6 core. Two ports of HDMI, USB. Got Wi-Fi 5. Wireless network standards. Wireless network standard use by the device. Each iteration of the standard development by Wi-Fi. Right? So, like, I could get an 8K television, and there's no content for 8K. Right? Wi-Fi 7 might be the new thing, but a lot of things using Wi-Fi. You see what I'm saying? Is it heavily used? I got a brand new wire, right? It's Wi-Fi 6, right? Literally, brand new 6. Now 7's coming out. Is 7? When does 7 take effect? Well, it says, even with the price catching up to the PC, PlayStation still wins by the pushing the people to PC now. They're porting their titles there. That's what I'm saying. Not only are they... Yeah, you got to wait. Yeah, you got to wait. But we have so many games. So many games. That you don't have to get the games day one. It's almost better not to get the games day one. Because usually they don't work on day one. Artemis says, when the market leader raises the price 70, the market will follow. Look at when the games went to 70. A pop. People complained because of NBA 2K, but now Sony did it. Everyone said it was needed. Yeah, because don't get it confused, though, Artemis. The industry all works together. They're all in the same pool. They all decide when they're going digital, when the prices of the games go up, when they're going to streaming services. They all talk to each other. They all know what's going on. They move the industry. They move the needle, right? When we say to people, I'm always going to buy physical media, we're going to buy physical media until they let us not buy physical media. They make the choices. We don't. It's real easy for them to go, yeah, Target, Walmart, and all the places, you can't get physical media anymore. And we're like, well, I guess I'm... But then you make a choice. You're either done playing games or you buy digital. Roadkill says, yeah, but then you're gaming on a monitor. I like my big-ass TV, 4K, 120 hertz. I get that, Road, but a lot of people don't even have that. They think they have the best model. But if you're going to get the PlayStation 5 Pro, right, most people probably don't have the television that can run what they're saying it can run. Okay? So if they don't have it, then they have to buy that stuff, and that's on top of it. That would just be like if I had to get a monitor for my computer, you add that all to things. You can't just negate, well, that's not the PlayStation. Well, if I want to play the PlayStation, I got to get a new TV. Okay, if I don't have a TV. You can't just say, well, it doesn't count. It does for people, right? It's not just 700. It's 780. If you want the disk drive, it's 860, right? It's like it just keeps getting higher and higher. Right? People like to move the goalpost. Well, you got to build a PC that's $700. Well, you also got to count the PlayStation is not $700. It's $780. It's $820. It's $840. Right? How many years are you going to play PlayStation Online for? Well, take that cost in there as well. Rachel says, RX 6700, 300 Radeon, 2700, 30, 50, 50, 30, 2 terabytes equals 600. Come on, Hilly. PC always has access to your games. That's another thing. That's another thing, Quintar, right? As of right now, yes, you are correct. I built a PC 4 years ago. I need to upgrade it. But I only played 2 games on it. Genshin Impact and Medium. Your Wi-Fi 7 add-on for PC is like $70. Hilly says, does anyone game on Wi-Fi like anyone? Hilly, I was told about 8 months ago that people are playing on... They don't even have their consoles plugged in to a actual, like, cable. They're all using Wi-Fi and playing multiplayer games. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Right? I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, what? I was like, you guys don't have your PlayStation and Xbox plugged in? And you're playing, like, Call of Duty competitively? What is wrong with you? Right? Gotta have a Wi-Fi 7 router. That's true, Quintar. That's true. You gotta go out and buy a Wi-Fi or a router so it could talk to it. Otherwise, the fuck's happening with the Wi-Fi 7? How many people really have Wi-Fi 7 routers? I have an Axe router, and I suspect that most don't even have that. Right? I didn't even think about that, Quintar. That's 2 points for you. 2 points for you for bringing it up. Better off going through the backlog of games rather than playing any games day one anymore. Right. That's another conversation, Jag, that we even look at. Like, you look at games, even good, successful games, right? Even games that are coming out right now, like Black Myth Wukong, which is having issues on the PlayStation 5, right? Space Marines is having issues. Buying day one or 3 days early access is not a good thing. Like, if you just wait a week or two, all that stuff will get fixed. And then when you purchase the game, it actually works instead of getting frustrated that it doesn't work that you paid money for. Artemis says, to take advantage of the Wi-Fi 7 needs a new router, but most people would plug it into the internet cable in the box. Yeah, Space Marines, 240K. I'm so mad that it's every game I play after it loses connection to the server. I could refund the game. It would let me. Nate just refunded his. He was having issues with it. He refunded it. And I believe he got 2 games for the price that he paid for that one that were older games that he didn't ever played. Eclipse says, how about you play your online games with a hardwired so you're not on Wi-Fi warrior on fighting games? Yeah, I don't understand that. Remember that 8 months ago when someone said, yeah, no, people play it with no Wi-Fi? I'm like, what? What are we talking about? Dad Gaming says, I will never use a TV for gaming ever again. Monitors are far superior to TVs in every way. I have a 55-inch LG TV next to me that does 60 hertz, doesn't do true 120 hertz, right? So if I bought a PlayStation 5 Pro, I would have to upgrade that TV, right? But my monitor can do that. I can play it through my monitor. Now I'm playing on a 27-inch monitor, okay? But it's right next to each other, right? But if I want to sit on my couch and sit back 10, 15 feet, well, then I would want a bigger screen. My TV is just as good as a monitor, buddy, so keep playing on your tiny ass monitor. Here's the thing, though. If you're watching a 55, 65 inch, how far are you sitting back? How far are you sitting back? Right? Because terribly, when I step back, right? Me sitting this close to my monitor, which I'm about 2.5 feet away, right? And then my television set is about 6 feet away from me. They're about the same size. I would have to get the ruler out or the tape measure out. My Wi-Fi is 6 and only had it 6 months old. They just added the number. I bet it's literally the same. That's what I'm saying. My router, or my my Wi-Fi router, okay, is brand new. It's a Wi-Fi 6. They literally came to my house and said, we're upgrading your thing. I was like, all right, cool. And now Wi-Fi 7's coming out. This is like the 8K televisions they were selling 5 years ago with no 8K coverage. But it's got the Wi-Fi 7. You can't get a computer that comes standard with Wi-Fi 7 for the same price as a PlayStation. Like, okay. Ninja Monkey says $700 is 2 car payments for me. 2 car payments? Expensive car. What are you driving? You gotta talk, Ninja. You gotta. Are you leasing? Are you leasing? Or are you paying to own? Man, you gotta talk. Next time you make a deal with a car, I'll let my wife make a deal for you. That's expensive. She walked away from a deal from a car one time. I shit you not, for 10 cents. 10 cents a month. She says, "Nope, this is what I'm paying. Not a penny more." They're like, "It's just 10 cents." They're like, "If it's just 10 cents, then go ahead and drop it." And they wouldn't drop the 10 cents, and she wouldn't take it. He walked. Right? There was an additional $1.20, right, for the year, and she said, "Nope." Cheapest Wi-Fi 7 routers are $70, and Perform ones are $150 to $350 range. Even more cost for the Pro setup. But you can't get the cheap one. If you're gonna buy the expensive PlayStation, you gotta go get the expensive Wi-Fi 7 routers. You gotta get a good Sony Bravo television set to run it, right? If you got good taste, you gotta take all good taste across the board. If your TV does 4K 60, that's really what people want. So why do you have to go to upgrade your TV? Well, because the box does more than that. And if you want to get the full power of the box, then you have to get higher. You got to get an 8K TV. You got to get an 8K TV, Roadkill, right? If you're going to justify $200 for the minimal upgrade, then you have to justify getting a better television set to play the better box on. Let me get this straight. We're not frugal until we need to be frugal. Is that what it is? Kyle says, because the game runs at 1440p 120, like Siege does. I much rather have 120 frames per second on a 4K 60. Will limit me to 60 frames, no matter the res. I'm just messing with you, Monkey. I'm just messing with you. I mean, you're paying like $350, right? $350 a month. You got a scooter? Razor scooter? No, I'm joking. Yeah, I don't ever talk. It's the best. When we go to car dealerships, the guys want to talk to me because I'm the man. And I sit there and I play with my son while we're at the place. I keep him entertained. We go look at the cars. They talk to me. I'm like, "Oh no, don't look at me. You got to convince her, right?" I go, "You got to convince her." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they start talking to me. I keep going, no. And it's a game that me and my wife have, right? Because I'm throwing them off because they want to talk to me. And I'm like, no, you got to convince her. And they're like, okay. And they talk to her, and she's got, and she'll admit this, she's got resting bitch face, right? She's got resting bitch face. Okay? You could say stuff to her, and she's just... And that intimidates them. And then they don't know what to do. And they're like, oh okay. We've gone up. Our car has gone up 2 tax bracket levels and we're not paying 2 tax bracket levels higher. That's how good my wife is in negotiating cars and stuff. This time around, she's like, I don't know if I can get a good deal. She's already pricing. She's already pricing for the next car, and we have like a year and a half. We're leasing right now. But Roadkill, that's what we're saying. Most people, right? Most people don't need the Pro. They could just get the PlayStation 5 and be happy. Up until before the Pro was announced, everybody said the PlayStation 5 was the most powerful thing. You could run your games at 60 frames per second. They were telling that the Xbox is shit until Mark Cerny said that, look at that, that's choppy. And that's the funny part to me. Just 2 days ago, everyone was saying, PlayStation 5, oh, it's so good. It looks so great. It's so good. It's so much better. It's so much better than the Xbox Series X. Now the Pro came out, and they're like, oh, look how gross that looks on the PlayStation 5. Ugh. It's like, talking about. Like the compression ratio of YouTube, when we all saw we're all looking at the thing going, what are we supposed to be looking at? Everything looks the same. They all look the same. Yeah, like choppy box. It slices, it dices, it destroys your games. Look how choppy it is. Right? Now, obviously, both systems are doing that. Right? The Xbox does the same thing. But that was the greatest thing just 2 days ago before that. Now the PlayStation 5 Pro's out there. Well, you got to get it. Look at the thing. It's doing the performance thing, and everybody wants the 60 frames per second. Sure. Not for $200 extra. Especially since you told us the last box that we bought, Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 normal, we're supposed to be doing what you're saying this box does now. I have no idea. They haven't contacted me yet. So I have no idea. Salty says, you missed it, Mike. The Last of Us 2, the windows are not transparent on the PlayStation 5, but are on the Pro. Oh. What? Oh, I gotta get it now, Salty. I gotta get it now. I have to play the same game I played already, which I didn't play at all because I don't have a PlayStation, to go back and play it again. Just so I can see the windows. El Monster says, what's the best TV brand to get 8K 120 hertz for PlayStation 5 Pro? Well, Sony would love you to get the Sony television sets. Some of the best TVs out there are Sony and actually Samsung. It goes Samsung, LG, and then and then Sony. Okay, some would switch and say Sony's better than LG, but for the manufacturers of what the TVs are, Monster, Samsung's probably the best. That's why Xbox teamed up with them. Okay, they're number one in the market. LG is number 2, and then I think Sony's number 3. But you got to spend you don't have to spend anything. You can get a lower quality television for like $400 or $500. You could probably get them cheaper, right? But about $500, all the way up to like $2,000, and you can tell the difference. Now, if you're just looking at the $500 television standalone, okay, you'll look at it and go, oh, it's beautiful. But if you take that $500 television and shove it next to a $2,000 television, you'll be like, holy shit. And you're like, is there something in between? That's what happens when you go to television, when you look at television sets. Gray says they are all LG panels, but Sony has better processing. Well, Samsung's not. Samsung's not that. Samsungs are beautiful. They're just way expensive for the high end. And then if you get OLED or LED or QLED, there's a whole bunch of stuff. You can go down the rabbit hole. Like you come in with the money and you're like, I got $1,200 to spend, and then you start looking at stuff and you're like, ooh, well, I kind of like this. I don't know which one I should get. Yeah, QLED. Then there's new technology coming out. I've seen technology. I saw QLED stuff back in 2009. Okay, just to let you guys know. QLEDs I saw in 2009. It didn't come to the market until what? 10 years later? The TV that I saw was about $80,000 when I saw it in 2009. I had to go to a conference for the camera union because they were training us on new technology that was happening and what it was going to do and where it was going to be seen. I saw a 3D television without 3D glasses. Right? Like, it's crazy. Still haven't seen that shit. Still haven't seen it. They were pushing 4K in 2007. Okay. And 4K, they didn't make content for 4K for like 7 more years. I think the first thing that came out on 4K, I forget if it was like the Tonight Show at 4K or if it was like Monday Night Football or something like that. I think it was the Tonight Show, if I'm not mistaken. On June 11th, 2013, Comcast announced that they had demonstrated the first public U.S.-based delivery of 4K Ultra HD video. But I forget what it was. Yeah, 2013, right? I saw 4K in 2007. It's ridiculous, the technology that's being worked on, and when the public gets to see it. And when it does come out to the public, it's outrageous prices because that's the price it is until they mass produce it. Look, all this stuff, when you look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, people are just being disingenuous about how much it is. It's more than $700. That's the starting if you just want that. But then if you get all the other stuff, if it's the stand, the disk drive, the PlayStation internet package that you have to get to play the games on there, right? Television set. And the same thing goes with the PC, right? You could build a PC for low because some of you guys really know what you're talking about. I'm not going to pretend to know shit about PC stuff, okay? But you could also have to pay stuff, right? At the end of the day, you're going to spend for a good quality to get all your stuff working on the PlayStation 5 Pro. You're going to spend close to $1,000, if not over $1,000, $1,100. That's before a television set, okay? So now you're talking mid, $1,500 to $2,000, and same goes with a PC. And my whole thing is, if you're starting to merge it, like I said last night on the podcast, right? If you start to encroach on the PC landing, why? Why would PlayStation start encroaching on that where they have no competition, right? Everyone's saying that Xbox is not a competition for them anymore. So then why would you start pricing your stuff? You could price it. You could make a killing right now, right? PlayStation could have made a killing by lowering the price of the PlayStation, okay? And more people would buy the thing, but they didn't. Why? Why? Because less people are buying consoles, but why? Right? Because people want to play games. Show us the games. Play the games. Why are people not buying PlayStation 5s? Up to this point, why aren't people buying PlayStation 5? Why is 67 million people still on PlayStation 4? Was it because the PlayStation 5 is too expensive? Is it because there's no games? What is it? Like, I'm asking, you know? I'm truly asking. Like, what is it? Why are 67 million people haven't moved over? Artemis says I paid $2,000, over $2,000 for my TV back in 2021. Now it's $1,400 now. Ray says my PlayStation 4 Pro give me a satisfying 1800p resolution for $90. Because you like good value, right, Ray? You're like, for $90, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty satisfied with what I got. Now I gotta pay $500 to get to the next level. $700 to even get more for increment stuff. You know what I mean? On top of that, why would you purchase a console to play the game, same games again? Come on, Sony. Where are all these games that you're making? Blow me away. Z says because the 67 million are not like us. They have to wait for GameStop to show them what they're missing with the new console. Yeah, but if they haven't done it in 4 years, Z. Again, I bought my PlayStation 4 in 2018. When did that come out? When did PlayStation 4 come out? 2012, 2013? Yeah, 2013. I bought it in 2018. That's 5 years into the cycle. I didn't need a PlayStation 4. Didn't miss anything. Right? Then I just bought a whole bunch of games. You know what I bought when I bought my PlayStation 4? I got God of War, Last of Us, Horizon, MLB The Show, and Spider-Man. 5 games. Spider-Man came with the console, and all the other 4 games, I paid less than $40 for all of them. We're waiting for the Xbox Series X, Pro Max, Ultra Plus. Look, at least PlayStation made an upgrade to somewhat to their system. Because the Xbox Sparkle, which, you know what, let's go to the next story, okay? The Xbox Series X Sparkle Edition, okay? They just raised it $100 for just extra storage. The Xbox Series WX360 Plus 1 is going to be fire. That's a great name. It just rolls off the tongue, Ron. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they named it. Microsoft is terrible at marketing their fucking things. They probably will call it the Xbox Series. They'll call it the Xbox Series SX. That's what they're going to call it. Get you really confused. Well, we have the S. We have the X. They should just call it the E. That way, they just have the Microsoft Series X. Right? They have the S, the E, and the X. Done. Roadkill says, how are people not buying the PlayStation 5? They're doing as good as if they're not better than the PlayStation 4 was. The analysts, the way they showed it was that it's not going to do better. By 2029, it's actually going to flatten out. It's actually going to flatten out and sell about, what was it, about 10 to 15 million consoles less than the PlayStation 4. Let me find that. Let me find what we did yesterday. Again, this is analysts, right? These are analysts. So, obviously, it could change. But let me find that thing we showed yesterday. AK mode. Refurbished. That's the portal sales. Here it is. This was the analyst showing yesterday. Okay. PlayStation 4 right now is like 122 million or whatever it is. But that's 100 million for the regular. And then an additional 13 or 12 million that they got or whatever it is. So it brings it up. Okay. The curve for this is the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 plus this. Okay. This is going to sell about the same as this. And this is going to undersell what this is selling by about 10 million. That's what the projections are. They can call it the sex series. That's right, Sarge. That's right. Well, probably because a lot of them play the Call of Duty and that's still playable on the PlayStation 4. They won't end up buying the PlayStation 5 because they're definitely not going to buy an Xbox. Well, you might be right. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried it out for $20 for the month to get Call of Duty. I mean, what would you rather do? Would you rather pay $500 for... If they're still on the 4, by the way. Would you rather pay $500 to play Call of Duty, or would you try it out for $20? I mean, in that case, they win all around, right? Because they could pay for the month, get the $20 from those people, and then those people decide, yeah, I'm gonna buy a $500 system for PlayStation. And then they got to buy the game again, so they make money on them. Or they buy an Xbox, and they make money off them again. And they made an additional $20 off them. All right, so let's go to this. This is an article being written from Windows Central. Okay, the Richard Divine is the author or writer. He says, if PlayStation 5 Pro and sparkling Xbox Series X price is the new normal, I'll be done with console gaming after more than 30 years. Are these the same people that say they're going to leave the country if certain people win the presidency? Just saying. Sounds like a great title. I will leave gaming. Okay. All right. So I love console gaming. I've been mainly playing on consoles since my parents bought me my first Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, if you have it, if you don't know. Back in the early 90s, okay, yes, I'm dating myself here. As the years went by, the new consoles of the time were always the things that desired the most. When I started earning my own money, I branched out to having the Xbox and PlayStation, as well as dabbling in with the other majestic Sega Dreamcast. Can we just think about the Sega Dreamcast for a second? What a great system. What a great system. I have a disc. I have a disc that you can put in the Sega Dreamcast that has over 1,000 games on it. What a great time to be a gamer. Okay. Already this generation has seen us slim down to a single console. I have owned a PlayStation 5, but it wasn't as being used much, so I sold it. Despite the increase in the amount of PC gaming I do these days, especially with the Steam Deck. I'm a console guy at heart. I've owned every single iteration of the Xbox and PlayStation consoles to date. That looks like it's a serious jeopardy, though. The PlayStation 5 Pro just debuted, and the eye-watering $700 without the disc drive, without even including the vertical stand. Okay? Absolutely outrageous. Xbox isn't sitting pretty either. With the special edition sparkle-clad 2TB version only undercutting it's only by 100 without any increase in performance offered. If this is the new normal after then more than 30 years of generation, it will be my last. He says, I'm clearly not alone here in the intense dislike of the price. Okay. He says, I'm not going to go start speculating or analyzing the markets for earnings, but one thing I'm fairly confident in is that the Xbox has a better overall position. I'll touch on that shortly, but Microsoft has been building up the Xbox ecosystem for a number of years now to be more just like a box under your TV. I'm clearly not alone. He says, my shock and dismay of the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro is also bad enough that Microsoft decided to jump the price to $600. So for new Xbox Series X and sparkling paint job and another 1 terabyte storage, it ain't it, Chief. Okay, and I think this is true, right? Because Microsoft said, "Hey, we're going to charge $600 for this for extra, hard drive," and PlayStation's like, "Well, if they can charge an extra $100 for hard drive, well, let's just throw in a Wi-Fi 7 and we can get it up there, right?" So it says reveal trailer was also crazy numbers of dislikes. The people are trashing the price literally everywhere you go on the internet. We saw that live in chat and also in the comment section day one when they showed it. $700 is a lot, whatever you're buying. Okay, and you're also not forgetting the mid-cycle refresh. At some point, there's also going to be a true next-generation release, and it wouldn't make much of a leap to imagine if when these drop, it'll be hovering around the same price point. So console users used to be more affordable and much easier way to play games. The PlayStation 5 Pro is at the point where it's officially no longer true. Throw around 4K 60 and as many buzzwords as you like is now in gaming PC territory. Man, this is great. This is what we're talking about. Okay. If you guys don't know, I literally picked the articles based on the title, and I've never read them. So when I see this, I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Now you're approaching on the PC territory. So what's the point of having console anymore? Especially since your $700 investment in your fixed pieces of hardware that will limit the performance that you can get out of newer games in years to come. You may also be well buy a PC and to deal with a little bit of frustration over the drivers and settings and to be better off in the long run. Both things are true. Okay. Here's what's funny. Everyone's worried about the graphics, and the graphics I've talked about are hitting a plateau type of point, okay? You're not going to see any more improvements of the graphical intensity of the games, right? Like, Battlefront 2 came out in 2017, and it's still one of the most visually beautiful games that you can look at, okay, with the photorealism, okay? Sure, there's other games out there that look eye-popping and just amazing looking, okay? But literally, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is 2017. We are 8 years removed, okay, from that. And it's still one of the most beautiful looking games that are out there, okay? Graphics haven't really shot past a whole bunch of stuff in the last 8 years of consoles, okay? They're hitting that plateau. Well, what happens then, right? Nintendo still works. If Nintendo Switch 2 comes out and it's as powerful as the last PlayStation, okay, it's going to sell like gangbusters because Nintendo, as Greg said it last night, people don't care about graphical intensity and stuff like that. They just want games to play. At the end of the day, majority of the player base, not the majority of here inside of our YouTube channels, right? Not the majority hanging out in IGN chats, okay? The majority of the people that play video games don't care, okay? Again, they want games to play. Everybody wants games to play, good games to play. And yet they're worried about the graphic of what it looks like and stuff like that. The number one game in the world is Minecraft. Number 2 is like Roblox. Number 3 is Fortnite. Okay? Sure, there's other games up there, but the masses are playing games that are not graphically intense. Okay? So it says consoles used to be affordable and not much anymore. Okay? $700 investment for the fixed piece of hardware is also limited performance. Now you can upgrade and get your PCs. He says there's simply no need to spend mega bucks on console. Okay? The landscape of gaming is so different in 2024 compared to even 4 years ago when the current generation kicked off despite the loss of Google Stadia. Cloud gaming continues to grow steadily, and the influx of gaming handhelds is opening up to PC gaming of ever wider audience. Okay? Obviously, the handhelds are pretty high right now. You can get them as low as like $350 all the way up to $800, okay? But the more people that buy that, those prices will come down. And then once PlayStation and Xbox, if they get into that market with their handheld type of stuff, that will also bring it down. But can you imagine if you're paying $700 right now for your console? You better believe if PlayStation sees Steam and ROG Ally and all of them going, wait, we can charge $800? Well, let's make a handheld, okay? You better believe that the industry is all talking And they're all trying to figure out, well, how can we get more money out of the same people to play the same games, but on a smaller screen and more portable factor, okay? That way, they don't have to run 60 frames, because then they'll charge a battery life. They'll be like, well, it's 60 frames, but you only get to play for 45 minutes, okay? So, like, the overall landscape is beginning to shift more towards just enjoying games again versus the obsession of the resolution and the absolute highest detail settings. The Steam Deck is a prime example of this. It's not even the most powerful thing in likes of the ROG Ally X, but affordable as the enormous library of PC games to play. It gets back to what matters the most, the games. Man, it's like this. It's like I'm in this guy's head. Okay, with a service like NVIDIA GeForce Now, the high-performance in gaming PC is at the fingertips of anyone who owns basically any device with a web browser. With the top subscription tier, I can play Forza Horizon 5 on a better rig than my own desktop gaming PC with access to the RTX 4080. Xbox own cloud does the same thing, and like now, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X without the need to buy one. I can also be stuck on the same display in your house all the time. Okay, it says, or, you know, there's a gaming PC or a laptop nowadays, and you don't have to spend a fortune to have a great experience. Black Friday is coming up, and you can guarantee there's also be two absolutely scorching deals. A PC, by its very nature, more useful than a console. It's absolutely have to play on the big fancy TV. It's not like you can't still do that, right? You can hook up your computer to it, even if you might have to sacrifice some resolution. But seriously, a 4K gaming isn't at all just more pixels. A higher frame rate will still make the game feel better to play. Okay. He continues here by saying, he says, time to talk with your wallets. He says, I'm fortunate that I also get to play a lot of incredible hardware at work. But when it comes down to it, what I own to buy in my own money, I think it's time for some serious think of my wallet and my head rather than my heart. Microsoft already has a $600 console now, and Sony has a $700 one. I'm already ready to leave my Xbox Series X at home when I go anywhere, which is where the Steam Deck has really shown its value. But I need a PC to work from. And when I'm going to have to plow through and kind of money into something like that, I can play games on. It just doesn't make sense anymore. Microsoft and Sony are both bringing the first-party games to PC, so why not just go all in and have the benefit of playing both of your single platform along with everything else available on Steam, Epic Games, EA, Ubisoft, and so on. Microsoft and Xbox will be fine. After all, Xbox is as much of a PC platform now as it is in console, and PlayStation, well, PlayStation, while players are voting with their wallets, is the only thing that will also force any form of change. Concord is living proof of that, and with the critical moment now, and I'm also convinced by my own mind is made up. So this guy is saying, look, you might as well go PC. Because in your life, you're like, yeah, well, maybe you're younger. You're like, well, I'm going to go to school, right? So I need a computer. Maybe you get a laptop, gaming laptop, so you can do your homework and also get your gaming in. Maybe you want to get a desktop so you can do your stuff. Maybe you're a real estate agent. You need a computer and whatnot, but you also want a game. You can make it both in the same exact thing, right? Maybe you're a video editor and you have a video editing machine, and you can also play games on that video editing machine, right? There's much more stuff that you can do with a PC than just play video games, right? There's millions of things you can do, okay? With the console, it's a console. Sure, you can watch Netflix. Sure, you can browse the web, but it's not the best experience out there, right? So where's this going, right? Where's the price is going to go? Is this going to be the base price? Is the next Xbox and PlayStation, not even talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro anymore, do they come in at the $600 level? Do they have different versions where they come in at $500 like it is now, but then they have a higher tier, more $600, then another one at $700? Is it where it comes along the route of now it's modular? Now you can actually upgrade your Xbox or upgrade your PlayStation 6 or Xbox Series X and make it whatever powerful as you want. Do they just start making PC versions of their stuff? It just makes no sense to encroach on their territory of PC. It makes really no sense for PlayStation, especially since the flag has been waved by Xbox in the console market, right? They've said themselves, we're not in competition with PlayStation. PlayStation's sitting on their own island, as I said yesterday, right? They're sitting on their own island. Nintendo's sitting on their own island. Xbox is sitting on their own island. And then now PlayStation's like, you know what? We're bored on our own island by ourselves. We need to shoot shots fired over into the PC island. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are you coming over here? You have this whole thing to yourself. Why don't you just stay there? Right? And in the future, I feel like this is much more telling that they're in trouble, because if they can't stay in their lane and make a shit ton of money, then I'm a little concerned because Xbox has already made the leap. They've already said that we're done with the hardware stuff. We're just going to software. That's what Microsoft has made their money with for the 40 years they've been around. Nintendo, staying in their lane, they know we just make great games. Doesn't matter about graphics. We're just making great games. PlayStation saying we have great exclusives. We have the greatest single-player games that you can buy. But we're also going to wedge that price up because now everybody else has left us. It makes no sense to me. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll back up to see what you guys are saying here. Microsoft just laid off 650 people. Yeah, we talked about that, Quintar, in the very beginning, and then my stream crashed. I want to make sure it's is it new 650 people, or is it part of the 1900? They said that they're going to let go of 1900. When I try to look up stuff, Google's being Google, where you're not allowed to look up stuff in the past. It doesn't show up in certain search terms and stuff like that. So it only shows me what's happening today. So when you type in Xbox layoffs or Microsoft layoffs, it only talks about, at least in my browser, it shows about just the 650. I want to know like the 1900. I want to know about the other ones that they laid off. Roadkill says, I'll wait until the next Call of Duty goes just next gen and not on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It will also change a lot, and it'll be a big jump to PlayStation. There's only 1 million people that are playing just Call of Duty on PlayStation. The article that we looked up last week. I say only 1 million. I would love 1 million of anything. Can I get a copy of that disc so I can turn my Dreamcast again? This guy speaks too much sense. I thought the guy was making a lot of good points, Deadly. Right? I know that's what you're saying. Like he was making some really good points. Roadkill says, I have someone wants to fly onto my house and show me how to work a PC for game. I'll give it a go. Greg Owen says, what's going on, Greg? The graphic jump just isn't the massive as it used to be. PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 is insane. PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 is still the difference, but not as earth-shattering. Yeah, it's incrementally... It used to be exponentially bigger and bigger jumps, like Grand Theft Auto top-down to Grand Theft Auto 3, right? And then so on and so forth. And now we're looking at Grand Theft Auto 6. We're like, just look outside the window. You're like, real life, and then there's Grand Theft Auto. Where do they go? Where do they go? Just announced Planet Coaster 2 releases November 6th. Oh, nice. Is it actually going to come out for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X? Because I know they had issues with the last one, and we had to wait a really long time for it. What's it called? City Skylines 2. They're like, oh, yeah, it's coming out at the same time. And then they're like, oh, we had to delay it. So is it actually coming out? Like, actually coming out? Sorry, mosquito. Oh, this morning one of my cows got out. I'm driving back to my house, right? I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden I see this. I look and I'm like, one of my cows? Sure enough, one of my cows. There's nobody else over here that has cows, so I knew it was mine. Deadly says, both Microsoft and Sony wonder if the system sales are down. This is why. People are seeing more value in owning PCs over their own consoles. Brad says, a modular console would defeat the purpose of. Devs would also hate it because they would also make it very hard to optimize the games. Not particularly crowded because they have to do it now for graphic cards anyway for PC. So it'd be the exact same thing. Oh, is that what I gotta do, Greg? Add before year, month, and date, and then do the search. Thank you. Because I hate looking up stuff, and it's like you cannot find the stuff. I'm like, I know it exists. Deadly says it's not about graphics anymore. It's about raw data, processes, power. I also need to be able to process the data and calculations faster and faster in order to add up more details into games. You lost a cow, Mike? Well, no, I didn't lose it. It just got out. I was taking a walk. The neighbor's 100 yards down the road. It's free range. Free range cow. We could charge more for that now. Gravel fed. That's negative 2 points for crowded. The cow said, "Time to move." Yeah, you've lost points. You're negative points. Crowded. Terrible. That's terrible joke. Are you in Florida? I've visioned very little cows there. Do you know why? Florida is actually one of the largest, well, it was one of the largest cows per capita of the country. That's where the word term crackers comes from. Because they used to be the people that used to wrangle the cows and stuff. They with the whips. They were called the crackers. Yeah. Something I didn't expect to hear this morning. I lost a cow. I didn't lose it. I said it escaped. No one lost a cow. You can't lose a cow. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Road are just like passing by and they're like stopping and I'm trying to get it across the road and they're just looking at me and I'm like, I need a picture of the evidence of the cow's back. Hold on, let me see. I mean, you're gonna get nauseous, but here I can show you. Fast forward. I'm gonna have to lower the autofocus. You can't. It's right. Right. God's outside my window. Can't see it. I'm sorry. I can't show you. Yep. God's outside my window right now. I can't show you the cows. That's Florida sun. That's Florida sun, Mo. It's different than California sun. Do I have the sun in my backyard? The sun sits right here. Yeah. Here's what I'll do. This is a lot of work, fucking Hilly. All right? This is a lot of fucking work. That's the cow right there. He's chilling out. He's chilling out in the fucking grass. There's 12 of them over there. I accept it. Could be dead. You don't know. I have to sneeze. Give me a second. Man, I just opened that blinds up and I'm sweating. Now I'm spitzing. Jesus. Definitely not going outside. By the way, Mike, Lono loves the Pro. He's all in. Cool. He will be one of the 1.2 million people that purchase it this year. So far, what the analysts say. No, we don't name our cows. We don't name our cows. We used to. We have one cow that we have that has a name because she's the mom that her name is Faith. Everybody else, well, the male because he impregnates all the rest of the cows. His name's Iska. He's a big boy. Everybody else, they're just numbered. We used to name them. Years ago, we used to name them. We used to name them with the funny names like T-Bone, Porterhouse. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, they'll probably hit me for this because they're idiots, but we're going to talk about MultiVersus, right? I talked up MultiVersus. Let me put something on the screen here. I talked up MultiVersus like 2 years ago when it came out, right? I said, like, big steak. Yeah. We can make the steak any size you want. any size you want, right? So MultiVersus, when it came out 2 years ago in the beta, right, and then it left a year, I was like, this is really cool. I was like, they have a lot they could do with this, okay? They have a lot that they can do with this because they could just keep putting the IPs, right, from Game of Thrones, from Batman, right? They have all the DC characters. They have, like, Beetlejuice in here now. They have Matrix, Harry Potter. They could put a whole bunch of stuff. Harry Potter's not in the game yet, but they could put characters and just keep adding characters. And I said this game will succeed and die based on the amount of heroes they bring into the game, right? So far, since it's launched officially, they've added what? They've added the Matrix, Mr. Smith. They've added Beetlejuice. They've added, there was one other one they added, the banana guy. And now they're adding Powerpuff Girls, right? What I also loved about this game when it first came out, I thought Tom and Jerry were one of the really cool characters in this game. I thought it was very interesting because the way Tom and Jerry work in the game is that they're not actually fighting you, right? Like, if you're using Tom and Jerry, they're not actually fighting you. They're fighting each other, right? Like, Tom is trying to catch Jerry, so he's hitting the pan, and you happen to get in the way, and they hit you, and, oh, Samurai Jack, thank you, monster, right? And I really love the way they did that stuff, right? So that's what they're doing with Powerpuff Girls, right? So we're going to watch this. We're going to see what they do with Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that, and let's check it out. Make this a little louder for you guys.
Bill, a perfect sight of tranquility. Well, actually, there is only one group of adorable heroes who could return this universe to order. Wait a minute, is that?
Somebody call for some heroes!
You're lying to yourself if you've never watched Powerpuff Girls. It's a funny show. Funny show back in the day. Like, see, they're working together. And I think this is I think this is a really, really cool concept just like Tom and Jerry, right? So the Powerpuff Girls are all working together. So you're controlling 3 characters, but you're controlling one entity, right?
Does we ever have tea parties? Yeah! Remember when we used to team up all the time for commercials and stuff? I like your shields very much, Steven. Go time, girls! Bang! Pow! Ha-ha! We do it better! Stay in formation, girls! Garnet, watch me! Boom! Ew, why do you smell like bologna? Revenge time coming through! Ow! Oh, shitty, stupid.
I don't know those guys. Who are those?
Aw,
I used to have that phone.
you're just the fuzzy wuzziest!
I think it's actually pretty cool.
Smoosh my face into his fur. Oh, can we keep him? Can we?
They got the real voice actors of him.
And once again, the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff Girls.
Samurai Jack's already in the game. Yeah, Samurai Jack's already in the game. Yeah, it's the same voice actor as Harley Quinn. Right? So, look, I think it's simplistic, but at the same time, I think it's such a good thing that what they're doing here, but they have to keep it going. Okay? This is how they make this game a little bit more popular. Okay? Right now, they're struggling with player base, with numbers, right? They need to open it back up like it was before the beta. Okay? When the beta was out last year, I could play against NPCs and whatnot to complete my battle pass and whatnot. They got rid of that. Okay? Because a lot of people don't want to sweat. They don't. There's a lot of people that want to play the game. They want to collect the characters. They want to do a bunch of stuff, the unlocks and stuff, but they don't want it. Like, I like the rifts. I think the rifts are cool. Okay? But they limit you to how many things you can get per day off of the dailies and whatnot. Okay? They need to make it where you can level up more. Better, I should say. Not, I mean, obviously more is better, but they need to let you level up by just playing against the NPCs. So I can practice, so I don't have to go in and then lose, because if you're trying to do your dailies or whatnot, and you happen to get put into just your luck of the draw, you're playing people, and you're losing, and you lose, and you lose, and it says win 5 matches, and you're sitting here, and it could be 10 minutes, and you could be done in 10 minutes, or you could be here sitting here for 45 minutes because you just keep getting teamed up with someone that's just not, you're on the tail end, and you're just getting frustrated and whatnot. I just want to play the game. So if I want to play multiplayer, let me play multiplayer. If I want to play solo, team play, let me play it. Right? If I want to play against NPCs, let me play against NPCs. Not practice. Like, let me play against NPCs so I can, not in ranked or anything like that, but let me play against the other characters so I can start unlocking. Now, they've done some really nice things where all the characters, I believe, are now unlocked, if I'm not mistaken, inside of local play. Okay? Because that was my complaint, one of my complaints, and then also my son was complaining about it. He's like, why can't I use that character? I was like, well, you gotta wait till it opens up for that week or whatnot, or that season. So now they opened it up. So now you can play, okay, with anybody you want in local play. But as far as, I want more characters like this, right? I want more IPs. You guys are saying like Johnny Bravo, right? Throw in all the other characters. Throw in Harry Potter characters. Throw in more Game of Thrones characters. Throw in all of these other DC characters. Just what are we waiting for? What are you taking your sweet time for? So what, 2 years from now you're like, yeah, we got 30 characters in the game and we're closing down because no one's playing. You need to bring people into your game because they're interested in the characters. Okay? Personally, it does nothing for me that Powerpuff Girls are here, but I think it's great that they're in there, because if there is a person that's a Powerpuff Girls fan, right, or the Cartoon Network, or back then they will now come and play your game. They're like, oh, that's cool. I was waiting for this, right? Where are the Animaniacs? Like, where are these characters that they have a shit ton about? They own the license. They don't have to ask anybody to be like, hey, can we, like, Warner Brothers bought this company. They don't have to pick up the phone and be like, hey, can we put this guy in the game? Yes. Yes, you can. What are you waiting for, right? Put as many people in there as possible. We'll have the same conversation just in a couple of months from now when Marvel Rivals comes out, And they said they're going to have about 39 characters at launch. I said 40. They should have 40 minimum, right? But every couple weeks, they should throw someone else in. Because you're either going to live or die on how many bosses, or not bosses, but good guys and bad guys you bring into that game. And same thing with here, right? If Warner Brothers come out with a new movie, throw them in the game, right? Beetlejuice is a perfect example. Beetlejuice is in the game. Beetlejuice movie is out in theaters. Might not be that good. It's doing well at the box office. He's in the game. Cross promotion, whatever. Next Warner Brothers movie coming out, throw him in, right? That's the way they should be taking these IPs. That's the way they should be taking these games. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Are you excited about MultiVersus? Have you played MultiVersus since it came out at actual official launch? Have you played Season 1, Season 2, now Season 3 with Powerpuff Girls? Are you excited? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. And if you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Pinky in the brain, put them in here, right? How Disney doesn't have a... Like, talk about copycats. Where's the new Capcom? Marvel versus Capcom, right? I don't want the anniversary thing. Give me new stuff. We need Spear and Fang from Primal. What would get you guys to play this game? If you're not playing it already, what would get you to play the game, right? Any of you guys WB fans? Like any IPs from DC, right? Any of those IPs that are in the game? Is anything bringing you back? Or are you guys just not playing? Are you out of age? Don't like the genre of the game? Don't like the characters in the game? What would bring you to play this game? What would they need to do? I know you guys are not the market here. Here, I'm gonna play this on loop. I really like how the whole Tom and Jerry type of thing, where they all work together. Like here, look at this. They have the phone, right? They have the phone on the ground. He picks up the phone and like slams it and then hits them with it. They do like a little tornado attack. I use a lot of Wonder Woman and Batman when I play. How do they not have more Game of Thrones characters? I'm so confused on the way they do stuff. All right. How do you not have... They came out with Suicide Squads earlier this year. How do you not have more... How do you not have the same characters from the Suicide Squad game in your other game? Like, how do you not do that? How do you not promote your other game that's out there? You're missing Harry Potter, okay? You're missing Suicide Squad. Yeah, Harley's there, okay? And Joker's there, but like, what are we doing? Yeah, Mojo Jojo. I'm not the biggest fan of this style of game, so honestly, I don't think I would ever touch it. More Justice League and Game of Thrones. Like, who's it missing? Like, have you played it, Dolphin? And who do you need to come back? Like, I'm only playing Wonder Woman and Batman mostly, right? Like, I'm happy with them. I play Shaggy, okay? Like, what character would they need to bring in and go, oh yeah, now I'm coming to play? Right. Put the Penguin with the show. Not only do you put the Penguin in, But then you put Colin Farrell's penguin in, right? You put the traditional penguin in, and then make a cosmetic where he looks like Colin Farrell's penguin. And that's a good thing too, Gene. What you brought up, right? Not having Mojo in the game the same time I bring Powerpuff Girls in seems like a missed opportunity, right? Like, why not bring both them in? Why not bring the good guy and the bad guy, right, in the game? It seems again like a missed opportunity. Is he a boss character right now? Why is he in the game though? Water Bear is like, it's pronounced Mojo Jojo. Are there any Looney Tunes? Yeah, there's Bugs Bunny. There's Tasmanian Devil. There's Martian, the Martian. Who else? There's I think there's like, is Daffy? I don't think Daffy's in the game yet. There was leaked documents of Daffy going to be in the game. I don't think he's in the game yet, though. They have Superman. They have Bizarro in the game, but it's a skin on Superman. D says Dexter could bring out some awesome tech inventions, right? You know who I'd like to see? Do they own it? Does WB own Space Ghost? Oh, I'd be excited for Space Ghost. No, Samurai Jack's in the game. Yeah, he's right here. Here, I'll show you. Right there. That's Samurai Jack right there. I do want them to add some Adult Swim swim characters, like some of the ones from the Boondocks or something like that. That'd be awesome. Right? WB owns Space Ghost, doesn't it? Aqua Teen. I just don't understand how they're not putting like 4 or 5 characters in per season. Make it a fun brawler, man. Just put as many characters in as possible. I'm telling you, between this game and Marvel Rivals, obviously they're 2 separate games. One's a brawler, one's a hero shooter or a hero brawler. Okay, but like an Overwatch clone. I hope Marvel Rivals doesn't do what Overwatch does. It's just very few characters every once in a while. They need to put as many people in as possible. I just want to fight. You know what I mean? Like, just let me have as many characters as possible. Good guys, bad guys. I want to fantasize of, you know, this person fighting this person. How hard is that? And how they don't have a just straight up Marvel version of this, just Marvel characters, just straight up this is beyond me. Meatball. Yeah, that would be great. Wait, what about Concord 30? No room? Oh, wait. They just charged. I'm telling you, that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing. In other news, In other news, Xbox Series X is the console of choice for Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2, say analysts. Look at that. Look at that. Good old folks at Digital Foundry have been taking a look at Warhammer 40k Space Marines is to celebrate launch this week. And interesting, they found out that the Xbox Series X version is a comfortable, the best on console. Okay, and the analysts, they also noted that performance mode generally outperforms the PlayStation 5 by 10 to 15 frames per second, even though both consoles use the same settings and targets combined with the VRR. This makes much more smoother experience. They could charge at least an additional $100 to $150 for the extra 10 to 15 frames, couldn't they? They should put that. They should put that on the box. Like, we're now raising the price by $100 $150 because we do 10 to 15 more frames more than the PlayStation 5, the choppy box. As a result, Digital Foundry says it's much easier to recommend the Xbox Series X version over the PlayStation when it comes to Space Marines 2's performance mode. Although the quality mode is to be exponentially stable on both consoles. Now, the Xbox Series S version fares pretty well too, only dropping to around 26 frames per second at times. It describes as quite playable for those who are also wondering. It runs a native resolution of 720p 1080p, but it also then scales up to 1440p. It says, we're willing to bet that you'll also have a great time with Space Marines 2 wherever you play it. And this is also a pure Xbox review on the game recently, and we praised it. So here's the thing. This is exactly why I like playing games where I like playing games, right? So if this came out and I owned a PlayStation 5, which it is out, I'm not buying it, and you guys know why the reason I'm not buying it, because the game is incomplete, doesn't have all the stuff, okay? But I have an Xbox, and if I had a PlayStation, okay, if I was a main PlayStation guy for certain games, but then this game came out and I heard it was running better over on the X, then I would purchase it for the X, right? For me, it's not about what is better than the other. It's what game is going to run better. I want a game that runs the best possible. Well, if I'm getting 10 to 15 more frames, and according to PlayStation, 3/4 of their audience want more frames, well, then you should go over to Xbox. You should buy an Xbox for at least Space Marines 2. Okay? That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Robert Jones says, someone said hero shooters and hero brawlers, whatever that is the same genre. One's a side scroller and one is an open world. I'm confused. They wouldn't be considered the same. Who said that? Jones? I mean, people I guess could say it's a hero brawler and a hero but like Marvel Rivals is nothing like Brawlers as the game. In concept of introducing characters, yeah, you can compare the two. Mo's taking shots. Mo says, and this is why the PlayStation made a Pro, to catch up. Well, just with one game, though. Right. Consoles are like fighting over 60. Meanwhile, PC players are like, yeah, I got all the frames. I get all the frames. Here's another story. We got video game firm hits the EU complaint over tricking consumers. You guys like what we do here? We cover news stories, have conversations about them. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So, video game firm hits the EU with the over-tricking consumers. So, Brussels video game company Epic Games, Electronic Arts, and Roblox, and 4 others were hit with the EU consumer complaint on Thursday, accusing them of misleading gamers into spending money. You don't say. I wonder what they were doing. Right? The move came after amid rising concerns of children turning into gambling or gaming addicts, and some parents claiming video game makers intentionally designed products that cause them to become addicted to games. I mean, yeah. That's their job, right? Their job is to make sure people play games, and your job as an adult with children is to make sure they don't do that. I know it's crazy. Okay, I know it's crazy. But that's exactly what they're supposed to do. We don't have to like it. But as a company that makes video games, they're like, how do we get people to play video games? Well, I don't know. What about if we made them addicted? And they're like, well, that sounds like a good plan. And your job as a parent is to go, hey, Timmy, you can't play today. Why, Mom? Why? Because I don't want you to be addicted to video games. Go play outside. Go play out in the sun over here. Okay? The European Consumer Organization said in 22 of the members across Europe, included France, Germany, Italy, Spain, filed a complaint on Thursday to the European Commission and the European Network Consumer Authority. Okay, the BEUCS members also identified numerous cases where the gamers also misled into spending money. How do you mislead people to spend money? How do you? It's always Timmy, yeah. How do you mislead someone to spend money? Regulators must act, making it clear that even though the gaming world is virtual, it still needs to abide by real-world rules. The BEUC Director General August Reyna said in a statement, quote, today, premium in-game currencies are purposely tricking consumers and take a big toll on children. Companies are well aware of children's vulnerabilities, and they use tricks to lure younger consumers into spending money. Or spending more, he said. Again, I agree with the statement. Okay? I agree with the statement. But at the same time, if you're a parent and you have small children starting to play video games, you have to be the adult. You have to set it up for them. You got to make sure, like, my son, okay? I mean, this is the day and age that we live in. When he logs in, he's got a certain amount of time on his iPad. If he wants more time, he has to ask for it. Not virtual, like not in person. He has to hit a button and ask for more time. I get a text message. It says, son is asking for more time, and then I can go, okay, I'll give you. Are you done with your homework? Are you done with this? Yeah, great. I'll give you an extra hour. Okay, that's what you need to do, right? When he makes a purchase on something because it's underneath your credit card, you need to put something up there that says, hey, you can't make purchases without consent of the adult in the house. Okay. Now, obviously, if the kid's old enough and he's making his own decisions, he's making money, he's got a job and stuff like that, and you have an account, well, then you need to make sure that, well, he can do what he wants with his money, okay? But if it's a kid that that's not old enough to make those decisions, well, then you have to put limits on what's there. Maybe buy gift cards. Maybe if your son wants to spend stuff or your daughter wants to spend stuff, you go, okay, I'll give you an allowance. Instead of giving you an allowance, I'll give you $20 in Minecraft, or I'll give you $15 in Fortnite. Then you can do what you want with it. Like, incentivize them instead of leaving a credit card on the actual box itself because it's an inconvenience for you because you would like to sit down and watch sports or, do absolutely nothing. You could actually sit there and go, you want to buy something? Great. Here's a gift card. Thanks for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Thanks for doing good at school. Thanks for cleaning up the house. Thanks for doing your chores. Here's a gift card. You can put that gift card in the thing. You can spend it how you want. This is how you limit people from spending money. This is how you stop the consumers being taken advantage of from these greedy corporations that's their job. They want to make as much money as possible. Okay? But people don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. They want to blame shift and say, well, these guys are doing dark patterns or whatnot. And if you're an adult and you want to make those choices, cool. But when it comes to kiddos, okay, you've got to make sure you make the choices for them. This is a dictatorship in this house, okay? My son doesn't get to tell me what to do, okay? I tell him what to do, okay? The association said that they also concern with consumers, especially children, could not see the real cost of digital items, leading them to overspend. And this is the consumers were often denied their rights when using premium in-game currencies. This is a tactic they use in Las Vegas or any kind of casino, right? You give them $100, they give you like one chip. You're like, I gave them $100, and they give me one chip of $100, and then you're like, oh, all right, well, I don't know, and you spend more money, but you're an adult, you know those things. This is exactly why you don't put a credit card on file on your system. This is why you give gift cards to your children that are using those systems. Okay. Video Game Europe, also whose members include Epic Games, Roblox, Activision Blizzard, Electronic Arts, Supercell, and Ubisoft, said the purchase of in-game currency is a well-established practice as well understood by players. Our members have always respected European consumer laws, and is how is often these purchases, the lobby group said in a statement. Now, the PEGI Code of Conduct requires developers to ensure that the real-world cost is clear and ambiguous. I can't say that word. Ambiguous? I can't say it. Fucking. At the point of purchase of an in-game currency, it said, referring to a pan-European game information code. I know you guys are going to tell me how to say it. I still can't say it. Roblox referred to the Video Game European statement. The other companies did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Okay. So, obviously, it should be a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't know why they have to do this, but we know why they do it, to confuse people, right? You spend $1, and they tell you they give you 99 V-Bucks. You spend $5, they give you $5.40 V-Bucks or whatever it is. And that is a problem. But at the same time, we can't just blame shift and be like, well, my son spent $14,000 and I just didn't know. Were you home? Like, did you look at your bank statement at any moment? Like at that point, the problem is not the video game company, right? At that point, it's parenting. Parenting is the problem. Hilly says, I have my kiddos have no fun set up in their devices. I use the gift cards and gift games, etc. That's exactly right, Hilly. You're a smart parent for doing that. Waterbear says 30 roguelite shooter called Wild Bastards just came out today. Looks interesting. Interesting. My cats is on my kids' Xboxes. For cats. Ambiguous. Thank you. But they asked if they could get something, and I tell them yes or no. If they tell me that yes, then I ask them another 3 to 4 times just to make sure. My son comes over. He does the little approach of, Dad, this is pretty cool. You can do these things. And I'm like, what are you asking right now? He's like, well, I kind of like it. And I'm like, do you want it? Well, yeah. And it's a free thing. It's a free thing. My son is so trained that when it's, because he has realms for Minecraft. And if you have realms, there's certain things that you can download. He will not download something for free until he comes to mom or myself and says, can I have this? If it's purchased, there's no way he can purchase anything on none of his devices. He can't even. He only watches YouTube. He's 10, right? YouTube Kids, and YouTube Kids only a certain amount of things that he can watch on it. Okay, if he hits a link, it comes to my phone and says such and such is trying to see this page. Do you allow it? And I'm like, nope. Nope. You have to protect your children. I feel like he's traumatized. He's not traumatized. He knows that people are trying to take advantage of him to spend money. I'm teaching him what's right or wrong, Altern. Alter says, at the end of the fault, it's Phil Spencer for letting this happen because he needs to say it's someone's fault, and Phil is always responsible. That's right. Everything that happens is Phil Spencer's fault. Z says Hitler and still gaming. The Gestapo, maybe? If you saw the amount of toys my son has, you wouldn't say that. Toys and video games. Mo says, mine are traumatized. I mean, look, if he grows up and he has to go to therapy, yeah, that's the video game's fault, not mine. Yeah, it'll toughen him up. It'll toughen him up. I don't know if you guys have $14,000 laying around that your children can just use on microtransactions. You know, I don't want to be a headline. I don't want to be a headline. I don't want to sit here and one day go, I'm that guy. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Norman Reedus is also playing in Venom 3. Planet Coaster 2 comes to PC console on November 6th. What is this? Assassin's Creed trailer just dropped. A world of wonder and mystery. Okay, let's watch this. Actually, if that's the trailer, where's the actual trailer? Let me see. I'm gonna bring it up, but I'm not gonna play the music because we're just gonna look at the trailer. We're just gonna look at the trailer because they're gonna hit me for it. Probably some rap song, isn't it? That's what it was when they played the game before. Wow, look at all that open space you can run around in. Oh, I can tell. Not 60 frames. Did you see that raindrop? No, honestly, it does look good. Yeah, they're definitely showing you. Look at all the beautiful stuff. The textures on the faces and stuff look kind of bland. They look better than Outlaws. Yeah, they're in big trouble right now. Ubisoft's in trouble. They need this game to be a hit. They've had a rough year. They've had a rough year with leading into like because Frontiers of Pandora was the first game of the year because it's not the beginning of the year, you know, it's like October. So Frontier came out, didn't sell very well. Then Skull and Bones didn't sell very well. What else has happened? Then they canceled a couple of games for Division. Then they got shit on because they're changing the Division. Then Outlaws didn't sell very well. And then this is not, supposedly, not pre-orders, not doing very good. Altern says, you don't have to worry about your children stealing your money. You don't have any, if you don't have any children. Always thinking ahead of the game. Problem solved. Japanese folklore rap, because that's what's new generation here. Here, you know. Clip says, I got the World Tier 4 on Towerborn last night, and there's a new event in the world map mission. Now the game just keeps adding more stuff. I love it. I am absolutely loving that game. I was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning last night playing that game, Eclipse. I was leveling up. I did my Tier 3 license. I haven't done the Tier 4 yet. I am loving it. I'm loving it. I'm going to try to reach out to the developer and see if I can interview them. And just because I want to find out what their vision is for it. They say, this is what they said. I watched an interview yesterday on, I think it was called Xbox Era or X Era podcast. It was all 20 minutes. And they were talking about how it's not a live service game. The guy said, I hate the term live service. He's like, it's an ongoing game, which is like the same. He goes, but we're just going to keep adding stuff, story bits, and a whole bunch of stuff going along. And he's like, and everything's free. Just the cosmetics are purchasable. He's like, and you can earn stuff in the game as well, right? There's plenty of stuff. Like some of the gear that I'm wearing, I think is pretty cool looking. So I'm very intrigued. I love the art style, right? I saw new characters that I haven't seen before, like villains or bad guys. And they're so cool. I'm like fighting these like frog guys. There's like these like purple hedgehogs that you fight. Very cool stuff. The boss fights are very cool. I like them. They're challenging. I'm dying. And here's the best part. When you fail, if you fail, you still get rewards. You just get less rewards, right? You get like 2 rewards, and they're like a mid-tier or whatever, but you can still use them to scrap or whatnot. And if you succeed, you get more rewards. Yeah, it visually, Jason, the world, it looks exactly like Outlaws. The world building seems really cool, but the character models don't seem very detailed. They have a very flat look on their face and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not playing the music. I didn't want to play it. I used to play Ubisoft games all the time. Okay, all the time. But then they started becoming samey to me. And I was like, eh. The reason I played Star Wars Outlaws is because I'm a Star Wars fan, and I wanted to play it to give it a shot. That's why I paid the $18 for the month. But yeah, most of the games are just kind of... They're vast. They're worth the money, I should say, for people that get them on sale. But they go on sale so fast. Avatar of Pandora went on sale real fast. Skull and Bones went on sale real fast. Outlaws will probably be on sale come Christmas time and whatnot. So, like, the games are good, but they're not great. Robert Jones says, both things are true. These companies have dark patterns and parents need to parent. Absolutely. But if you always parent, it doesn't matter about the dark patterns for your children. You know what I'm saying, Jones? If they're doing dark patterns, one, we should protect and change the companies and what they're doing with the dark patterns. But if you're a parent, you wouldn't have to worry about the dark patterns because you're teaching your kids not to do those things. Altern says, I mean, I don't blame anyone. Not to be racist, but when I would think about AC, I don't think about a samurai, but a ninja, because you know, AC is all about stealth. I think the problem that with Assassin's Creed Shadows is, with all the other history things they've done, this is the first time they've tried to go realistic, even though all the other characters were not like that. And that's why they're getting so much pushback on the era they picked and why the character they picked that they picked. Well, like hearing that, they are also so early access doesn't mean that too much of them to awesome to hear. Oh, for Towerborn? Yeah. So they're taking the Fallout 76 approach. That's cool. Okay. You're talking about the Fallout 76 approach. You're talking about Towerborn is what you're talking about. Oh, wait till you get to World Tier 4. They actually get to mechanics. I was doing the, was it Shadow Striker? And I have a build going on where I'm literally up in the air and I'm juggling them. I don't even touch the ground. I jump up in the air and I'm like killing them. And I move into another thing and they go back to the other thing and they never touch the ground. And they're dead. I was like, this is pretty cool. Guy 79 says, yeah, I got burnt out in the whole Ubisoft formula like a year ago. I still think they have good value for their games. For people that... Maybe you're a person that doesn't buy a lot of games and you buy just Ubisoft games and you could play those games for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Exploring and doing stuff. Like, there are good things about their games. It's just a tiresome thing that they're doing. Same thing over and over. Now, I mean, basically they turned Star Wars Outlaws into Assassin's Creed with a Star Wars skin. Amy says, I used to love Ubisoft. I was disappointed with they canceled the Immortals Phoenix Rising 2, and they definitely conditioned me to not pay full price. Well, they've also taught you not to own stuff, right? Hence why they're doing the $18 a month thing now. D says, the pendulum has swung. Back in the day, we developed and we also could with gameplay. The artistic tendency came in and made the game more beautiful. Now the artists who love the art and no gameplay. Yeah, the gameplay is starting to miss, but it looks pretty. It sure looks pretty. Robert Jones says the dark patterns affect us too. The main one I hate is currency routing. Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you, Jones. The dark patterns have to change. But what I'm saying is the kids shouldn't have to deal with that because the parents shouldn't let them get to that point. Right? If you're an adult, you're an adult, and you can, you can make those choices. Now, some people can't make those choices because they have an addictive personality. Some people are addicted to cigarettes. Some people are addicted to drugs. Some people are addicted to what's it called? Drinking, right? So, yes, the patterns have to stop. But as the article said, they're complaining because of children. The parents have to protect the children, right? To tell the companies that they can't do this because they're making kids addicted to video games because of the way the patterns are doing. Well, the adults have to step in at that point, not just to protect them on a government level, but in your house, you got to protect them. Oh, you can't go wrong there, Hilly. $10? Can't go wrong there. You bought Valhalla for less than $10. Yeah, that's hundreds and hundreds of hours of enjoyment for $10. My problem with Assassin's Creed games is they're so daunting. I was gifted. I have, I think, Origins, and what was the one that came after Origins? What's the Rome one? What's the Rome one? I forget what it's called. But anyway, I haven't played them. So I'm like, when am I going to have time to play them? Here's a game that I didn't think I was going to put a lot of time into, was Towerborn when they first announced it. Now I'm playing it, I'm like, I really like this. It's like a mix of like Destiny mechanics, right? Where it's like a tower. You go out into the open world and you just do your things and collect gear and then raise up your gear level and then go do boss fights and stuff. Odyssey, thank you, Clips, right? Like, it's so... And I love the art style. And the gameplay is so much fun. Here's the thing. I don't think they're... You said this early on, Eclipse, in the broadcast. You were talking about, I hope that the testing of this doesn't scare them off. They are 100% know that a lot of people weren't going to play this game. They opened it up on purpose because this is how they run their business. Stoic did this with Banner Saga 2, right? Where they open it up to they know the minuscule people. What they're doing is getting testers, game testers to help them on their side because they're not a big studio. So they open it up to the public, okay? And you can play their game and give them feedback. So basically, we're the game testers. That's the way they're doing it. And they make the changes due to the people that are playing the game. To be honest, the mini in-game dice was worth the money with Valhalla. Ghostwolf says, thank you. Whoever donated the membership. I think it was YouTube Lurker. You're probably one of the people that got a gifted membership because YouTube Lurker, very nice, nice guy in the community. He gifted 50 memberships last night. So, speaking of last night, if you guys missed the podcast, we do podcasts on the show. We had Greg Owen on the show. If you don't know Greg Owen, his let me bring it up. Where's the podcast? Yeah, we had a show yesterday. You can check out the interview that we did with Greg yesterday. So we did this yesterday. It's about 2 hours long. We talk about YouTube, about gaming, just about Greg himself. He's a YouTube content creator, and you can go to his channel, which is down below in the description as well. Grego in 2022, and check his stuff out. I love watching certain people's content and giving critique or reactions to it. We did it with Kingard. We've done it with Ginger Prime. We've done it with a bunch of other people in the past. I reach out to all these people to see if they would like to sit down and have a conversation. So some do and some don't. Most of them don't. So I do appreciate the people that give me their time to sit down and just have a chat with me. Clip says, I'm fine with that because I'm loving the game. It's so much fun. It's unique. I'm glad that the games are coming out like this. And I'm also glad that the Astrobot is getting so much looked at. Love the Psychonauts too. I heard that Astrobot is actually not doing very good. Now, I didn't read the article. I was listening to a video, and the video said that they 15% more than Concord. No, of Ratchet and Clank. That's what it was. It was 15% more than Ratchet and Clank, or was it 15% more than the total copies of Concord? I forget what they said, but I was like, really? I was like, I thought a lot of people really like this game. Is it too kiddie for that clientele for PlayStation? Do you know what I mean? Like, if that game came out on Nintendo, it'd be a fucking smash hit, right? But it's coming out on PlayStation, and teenagers and more adults lean towards PlayStation. Sure, they have kids, but is it not a big thing? Here, let me see. Astrobot. Let me see if I could find if there's an article. RadioTimes.com says Astrobot sales numbers news. Is it selling well? Let's see. Sales figures for every game, okay, used to measure of success. So just how well is Astrobot performing at the moment? Astrobot sales numbers news is selling well. Is it selling well? Because the game is within the opening. Are you going to tell me? Are we actually going to give us... Okay, Astrobot UK sales, physical only so far, are huge. Opening week is about a third lower than 2021's Ratchet and Clank's Rift Apart. But I expect a longer sales tail for Astro, and certainly sold more copies in the UK in just 2 days than Concord sold worldwide. Well, worldwide was 25,000 copies that we know, right? In 2 days, they sold at least 25,000 copies, and it came out Friday, right? So I would say what? It sold 300, 400, 400,000 units, right? This weekend? I mean, they're not really telling you what they sell. They're just giving you a roundabout. In 2 days, it sold as much as Concord did worldwide. Okay, so it sold 25,000. That's not something I would brag about right now. It'll be interesting to see, though, Guy. A lot of people say they, obviously they love the game. But is it going to be a success for them? Is there going to be enough people that own a PlayStation? Are the people interested in this game, are they still stuck on PlayStation 4? Are the people that bought a PlayStation 5 right now to this day, are the majority of those people not an Astrobot type of fan? You know what I mean? Greg last night said it did really well on the tech test that they brought out. It's really cool. But I wonder if the fan base is on the PlayStation 5 yet. Robert Jones says, I'm interested in the DEI Samurai. I haven't touched the AC since Black Flag and barely played that. So you are interested in the new one, even though you haven't played the old one. Old stuff. So you're more interested in the samurai stuff than the actual like AC. Like that, this time period is interesting you, Jones. What else we got today? Uh-oh. It's not good. Transformers 1. IGN gave it a score. What do you think they gave the Transformers 1 animated show or animated movie? What do you think the score is, chat? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. What do you think it scored? What did IGN give Transformers 1? What's the score? Clip says 6. All turn says 7. 7 out of 10 Sarge. Everyone says 7. Billy says, I'm surprised they didn't hold it back. Astrobot for the Pro. Nobody wants to play a new game on the choppy box. Yeah. Good old PlayStation choppy. What is it, a 7? All right, well, here it is. Those of you that are listening and said it. It's a 5. 5. It's a 5. I thought it looked bad when we saw the trailer. I was like, that's not Transformers, buddy. Not Transformers. Here you go. This is the little blurb it says. Okay. Here, let me click on it so we can get it bigger. It says, though the tragedy of Optimus Prime and Megatron's storied rivalry could have felt larger than life, Transformers 1 is mostly content with half-hearted puns, barely legible Cybertronian battles that could also have used some major transforming before rolling out. That's a shame. 5 across the face. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing with this? This is bad, right? Netflix made the best show. You guys want to see a good Transformers? Go watch the Netflix Transformers show. Okay, first 2 seasons, good. Third one, not so much. But I'm not a fan of the Beast War type of stuff, right? They just stomping on my childhood. They're stomping on my childhood. Like, how hard is it to just make a good show? Like, you know what we need? We need to change the robots. I think we should put a transgender robot, which they did in the comics, by the way. A non-binary Transformer in the comics. Not the comic run I'm reading. Comic book run I'm reading is fantastic. Okay? But I would love that comic book in a video game format. Why do they have to keep ruining my childhood? Netflix doing a good show, Impossible. No, the first 2 seasons, all 3 are good. All 3 are good, but the War of Cybertron and stuff like that is such a good show. Rise of Beast sequel's happening. Is it? Did it make good money? Let's go to the box office. I don't know. Did it? Box office mojo. Transformers 1, Transformers the movie, 2020, Rise of the Beast. Yeah, it broke. It broke over the, it made 61 million. Yeah, it can get a sequel. Get a sequel. It made 61 million domestic opening. It made $430 million worldwide. Yeah, so they'll make another one. Didn't make a lot of money, but it made money. Here, let's look real fast. The difference between Let's look at the first Transformers movie in what, 2007? Yeah, 7? Okay. Transformers 2007 made $709 million. Okay. Then Transformers 2009 made $836 million. Okay. Then in 2011, it made $1.1 billion. Okay. Then in 2014, it made $1.1 billion. This is why they keep making, and these are all shitty films, by the way, right? They're terrible films, but they just keep making money. The Last Night made $605 million. That's a $500 million drop. But if you look, let's look at this real fast, right? 2007 domestically, 319, right? The next one, 402, then 352, then 245, then 130. People in America have lost interest in Transformers, okay? And then we had The Beasts, which was 400, which made 157 and 281. So it's the lowest, it's the lowest performing one. Then there's the Bumblebee one, right? Bumblebee came out in 2018, and that did about the same. And that's the best. That is the best Transformers movie that you can see, is Bumblebee. I hate Michael Bay stuff, so. Yeah, Arcane's going to be good. Arcane 1 was phenomenal. I'm looking forward to Greg. Greg said last night he's going to make a video before it comes out, recapping Arcane and then reviewing, I guess, Arcane Season 2. Last night's when they started waking up. That's too late. That was way too late. They made money because people just like shoving popcorn in their face. They're like, wow, you're so good. I stopped watching after the third one. Was it the third one or the second one where the big robot had the nutsack? Which one was that? That was 2 or 3, where they had the rapping robots and the nutsack joke scene. I think that was 3. Terrible. That's when I said I'm done. I'm below the robot's scrotum. I'm good. I'm done. I'm out. Nutsack robot? I don't remember that? You don't remember that? Okay. You don't remember this scene right here. I'm not gonna play it. You don't remember this scene right here. You don't remember this scene? You don't remember the ball scene? I'm below the scrotum. Is that what he says? Let me see. Do they have? I'm directly below the enemy's scrotum. He says screw him, but I'm below the enemy's scrotum. Yep. That's when I was out. I don't know what this title is, but I'm definitely not listening to it. The gamer says it's time to start trusting video game reviewers. How about no? How about no? Those are weight for balance. The fucking balls. The fucking balls on them, huh? You want me to read it? Oh, hold on, I gotta find the actual article now because that was a picture someone took on Twitter. How many people they have writing for this fucking place? Jesus. They have so many articles written. Oh my God. What was that? What was the thing again? It's time to start trusting video game reviewers. Okay. Let's read it, shall we? It's time to start trusting video game reviewers. I get it. Games journalists are terrible at video games. Remember that one, guys? That one guy playing Cuphead? Let's ignore the fact that game journalists regularly beat entire games in a far shorter time span than regular people who don't have deadlines to meet. Turn a blind eye to the fact that they also don't have a single guide to help them beat a difficult boss or access to an area that also absurd entirely the entry method like drinking poison that kills you at the other time. Forget about the fact that they also beat them before the patches arrive to make the game easier. They also hate the video games and choose to cover the beat because they want to destroy the entire industry. It doesn't matter that wages are low across the sector and crunch in Rift, especially when reviewing hundreds of hours of games, baffling tight turnarounds. When we hate video games, we can't wait to tear them down. The myth that game journalists not only suck at video games, but they also actively hate the medium is one that also never understood. However, the issue is that game reviewers is much easier to praise. Gaming in 2024 is a team base, or your team of Xbox and Team PlayStation, or Team Fortnite, or Team COD, or Team Stellar Blade, or Team Censorship, or Team Developer, or Team Journalist. That's how gamers see it, at least. Okay, that's a big, broad, general statement, but okay. I'll let it slide. I will let it slide. There's a major problem with games marketing, and it fuels the feudal misery. Hype trailers for the games years away from release whip fans into a fever, and the excitement heightens to the level of where the criticism of the game is seen as a personal slight. Calling Stellar Blade's protagonist Eve boring meant that you're also part of the pro-censorship who can't stand beautiful women leading games. Okay, I'm gonna pause there for a second, because what he's saying is that it's not happening. And that's not true, because there are journalists out there that are seen and heard of every single day that say stupid shit, okay? Which is not just journalists, it's everybody else. But the difference between a journalist and a guy on his own YouTube channel are two different things, okay? One is supposed to be a journalist telling us the news and reviews of the game. When you write a review for a game, and I'm not saying this particular person that wrote this, because I'm not going to actually break that down, okay? But if you're a journalist, and in your review of a video game, you bring up Donald Trump, or sexist, racist, misogynistic people, or Kamala Harris, or racist people, or Hitler, then you probably shouldn't be reviewing video games, okay? When you can't tell us about the actual game that you're actually using, or actually playing, okay, then you probably shouldn't be reviewing video games, okay? And there's way more of those types of gamers that are reviewing than what he's talking about of journalists, okay? Team Elden Ring got mad last week when a couple of reviews said that it was too difficult. Accusations flew across the Twitter sphere, and critics behind the said reviews were told in no uncertain terms to get good, and suffered far worse abuse and misogynistic as the viral Cuphead has been brought up again. Okay, well, they're never going to live that down. The guy couldn't get past the tutorial. He couldn't get past the tutorial. Okay? Fast forward a week, and players are leveling and very same accusations that FromSoft DLC countless mods have added easy modes to the game. One called Journalist Mode, despite the fact that journos beat the game without needing it. Again, a broad statement of some journalists, not all journalists. Players feel bosses are unfair. They believe that the systems are too absurd, and yet they refuse to engage with some of the game's core mechanics due to the believing that they've cheated their way out. On wonder if any of them are apologized to reviewers who pointed these out very issues. Okay, it's not just Elden Ring problem. When Callie Plague reviewed Cyberpunk 2077 for GameSpot, she was also hounded by thousands of players for pointing out that the game's negatives. She didn't even like the edgy aesthetics and played no meaningful part of the gameplay, so she was also labeled a prude. She pointed out the offensive depiction of minorities, so she was called a SJW. She called out the technical issues observed even on the PC, and also suffered a barrage of hatred. Why are you bringing up the depiction of minorities in a video game? Hey, I'm interested in this video game. How much racism does it have in it? I wonder if it's how do they depict the minorities in the thing? Are homeless people treated correctly in this video game with ones and zeros? Like, how does that have anything to do with the game? How does that have anything to do with the game? Hey, this game mechanics, gameplay's good, the music's good, it's got bugs and glitches, but you know what's really pissing me off? The depiction of the minorities of this game. How can this guy put this piece of print in this article defending journalists that say that they're just reviewing the game, and then put this in here and say, well, she's getting called an SJW? You're bringing up things in a video game that no one gives a shit about. Okay, let's continue. Plague was also received the end of worldwide abuse for gamers excited about CD Projekt Red's new title, 8 years in the making. Their excitement as well as marketing campaign blinded them from seeing the fair criticism exactly that, fair. I don't know her, but also imagine the Plague was also excited to play the game. Journalists and critiques like games, and yet her 7 out of 10 reviews sparked days of collective outrage. Look, is this the journalist? Is this the girl that didn't even play part of the game and was criticizing and said it didn't have it, and someone called her out on it and said that you didn't even play that part of the game and you're criticizing it? I think that's the girl. I'm pretty sure. Okay. I'll continue. However, when the game released, fans saw the truth for themselves. Just days after the Plague review was published, a post appeared on the Cyberpunk subreddit. Everyone talked shit about her, but also starting to agree with Callie Plague. On the whole, the review was more positive in the sentiment of the subreddit. The fan reaction was so intense that the new subreddit was set up on the minority of the fans wanting to escape the swaths turning of the game, and the exact reason Plague pointed out. Okay, I would have to go back to that review all those years ago, because I'm pretty sure the way she reviewed it, there was things that she didn't play, and people were like, you didn't even play that part of the game. You're just assuming. What gives? At what point do you start trusting game critics? What are those who also review your games? As much as you think that different to you, what have different agendas and want to tear down things that you love, we're not. We love video games. We wouldn't do the job otherwise. But we also have to be honest about our opinions. So I find someone with similar opinions to you. While in Eurogamer review found a DLC so difficult to spoil their experience, our reviewers relished this FromSoft seamlessly with the challenge. Myself, I play the review a lot of RPGs and text-heavy games because of the book. I'm a book nerd at heart. If you also like those who sort games and welcome valid criticism of the genre, keep tabs on my Open Critic page. Okay, this is how negative in the media's landscape. Find someone your tastes align with, or whose criticism you also enjoy reading. Find your Roger Ebert. Don't just look at the biggest reviews on the biggest sites because they lack important context about the person behind the webpage. You can expect the reviews to be balanced and fair, and if you're also be entirely subjective reviews or opinions. After all, you need to dig a little deeper to understand whether this is also a perspective or similar to yours. If your favorite reviewer writes an independent zine for it also might be more valuable to you than the IGN or the Gamer write-up. Okay, but no game journalist is out here to get you. The vast majority try to fare of their criticism and unbiased when it comes to unsequential arguments like console preferences. Nobody's going to give you Astro Boy a 2 because they love Xbox. Nobody's trying to destroy the game developer lives. And we're honest, we're opinionated, we're human, just like you. Here's the thing I'll have to say, right? As we brought a broad brush across the journalists, because more than not are people that are not doing their job correctly. Yes, it is their opinion. But when they start bringing stuff in, like Wukong, the diversity, right, of the monkey, like, what are we talking about? Okay, when you talk about that you're doing a review of a game, and you're like, well, I had fun, but people are not going to like it because they're sexist, racist, misogynistic people. That's not a review of the game. You're now segueing from that. You're moving the goalpost. For every person that says a review, a good review, there's 2 people that are saying bullshit because they want to get clicks. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if the game reviewer likes the game or doesn't like the game. Look at the gamer. Look how many articles are on this page. Look at this. This is from 24 minutes ago. Okay? 54 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago. How do they make their money? How do they make their money? They make their money by pumping out stories. They make their money by clicks. They make their money by ad revenue, by these things popping up on the page. And the more thing, when I click on a story, okay, when I click on this story, it goes into here, and there's advertisements on the side. There's pop-ups that happen. There's ads that happen. There's things that happen. This is how they make their money. So sure, the guy writing the review, the girl that's writing the review, has the best interest at heart. No, she's just doing her job. He's just doing his job. But they get carried away when they start preaching to us about, well, this game, the control scheme. They're not talking about the control scheme. They're talking about the sexist of it, or the discourse of the thing. Just tell us how the game works. Does it work? How's the music? How's the leveling design? Right? How's the graphics? Tell us these things. No, they tell us those things, why they tell us other things. And then when certain people play the game and they look at the review, they go, well, that's not true. You didn't even play that part of the game. They're like, oh, I didn't have time to play the game. I have to get the review out. I didn't ask for your job. If you're reviewing a video game, then review the fucking video game. Right? This is why I don't do reviews of video games. Right? Because I want to enjoy the video game. Okay? Someone that runs through the game at 15 hours and someone that takes their time with 50 hours, who do you think is going to give you a more detailed outlook of what that game is? Do you think the person at 15 hours just did more things than the person at 50 hours? And they're just faster at the game? That's not how that works. In an open world game, you need more things, right? Go check out certain things. Go hidden things. Different bosses, different missions. No, they just do main campaign, go through, it's short. The end, right? And it's kind of stupid. Kind of stupid. I won't throw the controller in my gamer's house. I couldn't beat the tutorial of Elite Dangerous, so I definitely didn't review it. Elite Dangerous. I actually, there was a video of me. On Twitch, we played Elite Dangerous, Jones. It took me 27 minutes to figure out how to get the ship off the ground and out the dock. 27 minutes. Couldn't figure it out. Right? Sure, there's people that do reviews and do stuff. This is why we watch Skill Up. This is why we watch Force Gaming. This is why we listen to ACG, right? There's no difference. They're reviewing games, and sure, align who you like, right? If you like the person who talks because you think they're they're not biased, okay? Then they're just telling you what the game is. You could separate that. Skill Up has never said anything in the lines of, well, I didn't like Saints Row because I'm sexist. And if you're sexist, you're not going to like this game. Like, that's never brought up. He tells you that the writing in this is awful. Okay? It's cringeworthy. Right? The graphics seem downgraded. The gameplay just seems very arcadey. Right? He's telling you things that you would like to know about the game. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to pass this one. Frustrating, man. Broad strokes, though. Broad strokes. He's not wrong in his article about, the people that actually care about articles, and actually care about their job. But this is what I talk about all the time. Make sure you're the best goddamn person of your job, whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're cleaning the toilets or writing a fucking article for a video game review. Put some effort into it. And when people don't like it, be a little thick-skinned. Right? Be a little thick-skinned. You don't think I get comments in my sections of my videos that say certain things? You're wrong. You're stupid. You're bald. You're ugly. Okay, great. What does that have to do with anything? I don't give a shit with you. Right? Just like, you write an article, then don't read. Do what Joe Rogan does. Right? He writes stuff, puts it on Twitter, and never reads the comment section. You never read the comment section. Okay? You know what you're getting into. If you make a PlayStation video, Xbox fans are coming for you. If you make an Xbox video, PlayStation fans are coming for you. Okay? That's just the way it works. You think it's AI written? Yeah, maybe. You can bring up tons of reviews of people telling you, well, this game reminds me of the July 6th. What are we talking about? Why would you even write that in the article of a video game? Exactly right, Jones. Find the person that you want, that you align with, right? I like to listen to 3 reviews. I listen to someone I like, someone I don't like, and then a third one, and see where they go. And you'll hear this person say certain things. You'll hear this person say certain things. You'll hear this person say certain things. And then you're like, all right, well, there's the average. Then you know that this guy's not full of shit. This person's not full of shit. She's not full of shit. They're all on the round about the same thing. Or you hear someone go, what is he talking about? Kuda Papa says 30, a lot of reviewers shouldn't even be reviewing. There's some who don't even play the game. It's just generic. And this is what I think from looking at that game. Well, here's another thing that happens. If, let's say you're a real-time strategy guy, but you're playing a MMO, you probably don't like MMOs. So I can't imagine someone, because gamers like to buy games they like, right? A lot of gamers don't go out of a genre. Like, if I like driving games, I'm not gonna buy Madden football, right? I'll buy the next driving simulator game that comes out. But if I had to review Madden, I probably wouldn't like it. So I'm gonna come across going, I don't really like it, because you have no connection with it. You don't like that type of stuff. So why would you give us a good review? Why would you do a review? El Monster says, you're smart, you're handsome, you're balding nicely than other people here. Better criticism than always online people. I appreciate that. 30, if of a Sony person, you'd like to play the interactive movies, so review the interactive movies. You know, I like Opera GX. I don't know if you guys use Opera GX as a browser, but you know what I don't like about Opera GX? They like to insert every once in a while. I just deleted it, but in this little thing here, they'll insert things. Like I didn't have this before. The Humble Bundle. I have all my new stuff here, right? I don't have this either, right? They throw stuff in here that I'm not interested in. They just throw it in there, but they're like, oh, here you go. Like, I don't want that. Don't put that there. Like, this is my bar that I wanted, right? Hence why there's a plus sign here, because I can add what I want, but yet they just insert something in there by themselves. I don't like that. Yeah, just subconsciously, just the subliminal. They just put it in there, Titan. They're just like, here you go. Nudge you a little bit. I love this is not an ad, by the way. I wish it was. But I like it because in Opera GX you can look at the games that are like coming out type of stuff. And then also when you go here, like you have all your news and stuff. Like you can set it up how you want to set it up. It's very nice. Leave Mike's bar alone. I usually just keep all the browser tabs of stuff I look at. So every time I close, it also reopens the tabs and comes back. Oh, I do like that. And I also like it if you have it on mobile, you have it linked, it keeps it up on there. So if I open stuff up on my phone while I'm gone, it's on my computer when I get back. All right, it's 1 o'clock. We'll be back tonight for some Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Appreciate you very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Yeah, so 410 episode tonight. I don't know if I'm on Lono's podcast tomorrow. I'm sure we'll talk today, this afternoon or whatnot. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.